Chapter 51. Con, I really thought the activities in the dining area would be more enjoyable. It turns out it's just a rubbish activity. It's obvious that eating is of no use. That's right, most of the players now are not at a high level. Even if it's an ordinary level dungeon, not everyone can clear it. We can't clear the dungeon, but we can still get an ordinary skin to enjoy ourselves. If you can't brush it, there will be no hair left. I didn't expect that even the game officials would play tricks like this. Although I feel sorry for the players who play the games, I really want to laugh. Ha ha ha. Now Santa Cassia has become a recognized dining area throughout the server. Seeing these remarks, Lin Xiao couldn't help but sneer. Xiaochang is incompetent, a group of ignorant and fearless idiots. Lin Xiao came to the Fengxiang Tower in front, found Xin Yuku, and handed him the 10 magic fairy stones that Katarina had exploded. Refine all the equipment on me to +5. Although Lin Xiao is unruly, he is not arrogant. He is very aware of his current strength and how dangerous it is to deal with the hidden version of the upgraded boss, so he must be fully prepared. Magic Immortal Stone can refine equipment. The higher the refining level, the stronger the attributes. He must be in the best condition to face challenges. Xin Yuko looked at Lin Xiao with a look that cared for mentally retarded children. Brother, are you kidding me? Lin Xiao now has a full set of purple equipment, and refining the purple equipment once requires consuming 3 magic fairy stones, and there is no guarantee of success every time, especially after +5. If it fails, not only may the refining level return to 0, but even it is also possible to directly explode the equipment. This is why Lin Xiao only asks for +5 now. As for the set of equipment that Lin Xiao currently has, even if each refining is successful, 105 pieces will be enough for all +5, not to mention the damn failure rate, and the minimum guarantee will be 400 pieces. Now that Lin Xiao has taken out 10 magic fairy stones, he wants Xin Yuko to help him refine the entire set of equipment to +5. Isn't this nonsense? But Lin Xiao said, I know that a top equipment merchant like you must have a lot of valuable inventory on hand. I will lend it to you today. You can regard it as an investment. Asking the NPC to borrow treasures for investment, Lin Xiao can be considered the number 1 player in the game. The corner of Xin Yuko's mouth curled up. Invest? I invest in you? Owner, I am such a stingy person. I can't even bear to invest in my own mother. Why do you think I will invest in you? Lin Xiao said, you can bet that I will become the supreme true god in the future. Thinking about it this way, you will think that I am a rare commodity. Lin Xiao said it in an understatement, with a relaxed look on his face. But Xin Yuko laughed loudly, the supreme true god? Ha ha ha, our third princess's ideal is just to obtain the true dragon city, but you actually dream of becoming the supreme true god. Lin Xiao said lightly, you think it's ridiculous? But have you ever thought about what if I really become it? Xin Yuko couldn't laugh anymore. Although Xin Yuko could not see that Lin Xiao had any hope of becoming the supreme true god, Lin Xiao's words seemed to have a kind of magic power that Xin Yuko did not dare to despise. He was silent for a long time, and finally, he took a long breath and said in a deep voice, okay. Just think of me as crazy, I will invest a sum of money in you today, and I will accept that it is a waste. Soon, Xin Yuko completed the refining of Lin Xiao's Caitlin Tai sword. The +5 Tai sword's basic attack power reached 2000. And the magic power reached 4000. Immediately, Xin Yuko refined all Lin Xiao's accessories and armor. After putting on refined equipment, Lin Xiao's basic attributes once again reached a new level. HP 7760 attack power, 2798 spell power, 4885 double defense, 2000 plus enchantment switch single defense, 4000 plus. Lin Xiao was satisfied. If he had calculated a 30% chance of winning before, now he already had a half chance of winning. Half the chance of winning is not high for many people, but Lin Xiao is a super adventurer. As long as the chance of winning is more than half, he will fight 100% without hesitation. Lin Xiao left Fengxiang Tower and prepared to teleport to Netherworld Fortress. As soon as Lin Xiao went out, Mo Union appeared. Do you really think he's worth investing in? Xin Yuko smiled bitterly and said, it's hard to say, maybe, it's worth it. Mo Union frowned and fell into deep thought. Lin Xiao's red name was whitewashed, and he swaggered towards the teleportation array of True Dragon City. The refined equipment will have dark light flowing on its surface, which is very eye-catching. All the players who pass by it can't help but stop and marvel in secret. Damn it, I endured the full set of purple equipment, I endured the full set of enchantments, and now I still get a full set of refined +5. Why are you so cruel? Can't you give us some hope of catching up? Before, I thought I could pull the master's balls if I tried harder, but now I know that I can't even pull the hair of the master's feet. I am envious with tears in my eyes. Don't stop me. I have a plate of sauce-flavored beef beehive. I must serve it to the master today. At this moment, Lin Xiao received a separately pushed system message. The player Ren Kuangwudi has killed 52 people and won the championship on the God of Killing list. The God Killing ring has been forcibly transferred to the new champion. Lin Xiao clicked on the God Killing list and saw that the top spot was already occupied by Ren Kuangwudi, and the God Killing ring he just got yesterday had disappeared from his middle finger. But Lin Xiao was not angry, but seemed very happy. Suddenly, a flash of dazzling light flashed, and Ren Kuang Invincible, Forgive Hat, Eat % Shit Brother and others appeared at the teleportation stone together. He smiled strangely like a hat and said, "Ha ha ha, Master Jian Yu, what a coincidence." Ren Kuangwudi said, "Jian Yu, don't listen to him, I just came here to show off to you, how about it?" Lin Xiao sneered, "If you ask an actor to take the first place, you have the nerve to show off to me." Ha ha ha. Ren Kuangwudi laughed wildly, "Which of your eyes saw that the list stipulates that actors are not allowed to be hired? Seeing that I don't have the God-killing ring on my hand, even the official recognized me as a murderer. It's effective, why are you still unconvinced? You have to use your brain when playing games, understand?" Lin Xiao raised the corner of his mouth, "Yes, you need to have brains to play games, but it's a pity that you didn't." Lin Xiao's eyes showed murderous intent, "Yesterday I killed 48 points, and today you killed 52 points. The 100 killing points of the God-killing ring are just full, thank you." While speaking, Lin Xiao had already raised the Catalina sword in his hand. Ren Kuangwudi and others were stunned for a moment, and then they all laughed loudly. "No way, Jian Yu, are your brains worth watts? Even if your brains are watts, you should be able to see that this is a safe zone." Lin Xiao smiled coldly, and the sword in his hand suddenly burst into dazzling light. "The holy light is coming." When the melon-eating crowd on the side saw this scene, they all couldn't help but laugh and whispered. It seemed that Jian Yu had really lost his mind after losing. He even forgot the basic rules of the game such as no killing in the safe zone. However, when the holy light disappeared, everyone's jaws were dislocated in shock. Just now, the arrogant Ren Kuangwudi and the others, who had succeeded as villains, were all lying dead on the ground. They, actually, really died. Not only was he dead, but he died in an ugly way. His whole body was smooth and clean. Except for a pair of novice pants, all his equipment had been blown away and scattered on the ground. The God-killing ring that Ren Kuangwudi had not warmed up returned to Lin Xiao's hand again. The scene was completely silent, as quiet as a morning hall in the middle of the night. Lin Xiao looked down on the corpse on the ground and said coldly, "Before I leave, you'd better lie down for me. If you dare to get up, I'll kill you every time you get up." Chapter 52. Ren Kuangwudi's face trembled and turned red. When Lin Xiao's holy light came on just now, he just thought that Lin Xiao was being silly and was not prepared to die at all. As a result, when he fell, he leaned forward with his butt raised high, lying down like an inappropriate posture for a child. Posture of shame. In addition, all the equipment on his body was blown away, leaving only a pair of underpants. It looked like a gay man was bending over to offer his anus. Of course he wanted to be resurrected, but he didn't dare. Because Jian Yu made it very clear that if he dares to get up, he will get up and kill him one at a time. The mad and invincible man almost collapsed. This Jian Yu was actually able to kill people in a safe zone, and he didn't get famous even after killing someone. Are there still royal laws? Are there still laws? Lin Xiao picked up the equipment on the ground with one click, then came to the portal, turned around and said, "Listen, I hate people cheating on me the most. Last time you bet with me about changing your ID, I didn't just mentioning it doesn't mean I forgot it. If you don't change your ID today, I will kill you every time I see you in the future." Lin Xiao's words once again made Kuangwudi's heart tremble. After the warning, Lin Xiao teleported away. The news that Jian Yu killed people in the safe zone immediately spread throughout the server. Several players who had hired actors to compete for the Killing God list quickly stopped this ridiculous cheating behavior after seeing the news. If you rob Jian Yu's things, you will die. Even the safe zone is not safe, so who would dare to rob it? As soon as Lin Xiao left, Ren Kuangwudi and others finally dared to resurrect. What are you looking at? Have you never seen me with such a good figure? Ren Kuangwudi shouted at the crowd of people who were watching and snickering, why don't you call your wives and mothers to come and enjoy it? Anger has made him completely lose his mind. Forgiveness Hat said cautiously, Brother Wu Vai, now that Jian Yu has put down his harsh words, what are you going to do next? You won't really change your ID, will you? Change your MR. Ren Kuangwudi went berserk. Forgiveness Hat continued, but Jian Yu. Ren Kuangwudi gritted his teeth and said, I'm afraid of you. The worst I can do is immigrate. This young man in the dining area doesn't want to stay anymore. It is possible to immigrate and transfer areas in the Eternal Journey, but it requires the prop national document, which can only be used once. Although the Tongguo documents are rare, it is not difficult for people like Ren Kuangwudi and others. The eyes of Feng Zongqi percent shit and others brightened up, yes, Brother Wudi, you are still smart. If you don't leave me here, I will keep you. That's right, how can a man live by looking at other people's faces? Brother Invincible, let's go with you. We are all capable people. It is not us who are at fault, but this dining area. Let's find a good national server and switch to it. We guarantee that we will take off in 3 days. Except for Fan Huaruoxiu, the remaining 48 great masters on the achievement list have all decided to immigrate collectively. Ren Kuangwudi gritted his teeth and said bitterly, Jian Yu, just wait for me. When I take off in other servers, I will be the first to destroy Saint Kasha. The Nether Fortress is a pass that is tens of kilometers long, with towering green mountains on both sides. There is only a narrow passage in the middle, and at the front of the passage is the portal of the copy. The spectacular sea of clouds and mist contrast with the evergreen pines and cypresses in the mountains, giving this quiet and beautiful place a somewhat mysterious atmosphere. A skin feast broke the tranquility here. At this time, the Fortress Valley entrance was already overcrowded. The level 12 high explosive gunner is asking for a team. 100 rounds of soul armor-piercing bullets are ready. The ammunition is sufficient. The guns are to the flesh. Don't talk to me about bronze boss and silver boss. I will beat them all like melon skin. Give it to me. 2 wet nurses, I'll give you a 5 kill. Super talented assassins are looking for a team. They have learned the stealth skills, can kill boss, can keep the C position, have champion consciousness, king control, and are invincible below the sword feather. Even if they are so good that they can fly, they are still stable. The only requirement is, first kill me. Difficult level. Difficult level. Salted fish also have dreams. Do you have any dream players? Let's have a heartbeat together. The hard-working type leads the team savagely. You will be suspicious of the dog's eyes. The boss will collapse and cry when he sees it. He feels that okay, just join the team and drive in seconds. These people who wanted to form a team blocked the entrance to the dungeon. After all, most players only dare to play the normal level. There are only a few advanced players like them who want to challenge the difficult level, so it is difficult to form a team. But they kept blocking like this, and the players who had already formed a team behind them were very unhappy. A wizard shouted, Hey! You little bastards, don't you have any sense of public morality? If you don't shit in the latrine, I have to rush to work tomorrow. A gunnery master immediately responded, Beep your mother, beep. You are a bunch of rubbish who are playing ordinary dungeons. Don't feel uncomfortable with me. We civilized people like to FK your mother the most. The arrogant player who had been shouting about his dream before also said, I am more noble than you rubbish by clearing the difficulty level, so what? If you don't accept it, I will cry if you don't accept it. The wizard said angrily, You're just pretending to beep. Just clearing a difficult dungeon and you're superior to others? Where's the sense of superiority? You have to go to hell to clear the purgatory level. Anyway, you're going to die. Before you die, beep louder. Don't you know? The crazy player sneered, TCH. Play the purgatory dungeon. The king with a strong mouth can just stand and talk without hurting his back. Go and ask Jian Yu to see if he dares to play the purgatory dungeon. Before the wild player finished speaking, Lin Xiao, wearing a +5 refined outfit, arrived at the entrance of the dungeon. I dare you to give way. Kuangman turned around and shouted, FKU. I'm talking about Jian Yu. As soon as he finished cursing, Kwangman saw clearly the person in front of him, and his upper and lower teeth trembled in fear. Master, Master, please don't misunderstand me. I have nothing wrong with me other than being a bit mean-mouthed. Please don't misunderstand me, Master. If Jian Yu kills someone, he will inevitably use up all his equipment. The more advanced players are, the more afraid they will not be able to bear the consequences. After all, their equipment is very difficult to obtain, and even if you have money, you may not be able to buy it. Lin Xiao said coldly again, I dare you to give way. Yes, please, please. Kwangman smiled apologetically at Lin Xiao, while turning his head and shouting at the people in front of him, get out of my way. Didn't you see the great god Jian Yu is coming? Occupy the pit. If you don't poop, do you want to show off your butt? Those high-level players who had a sense of superiority before dared to block the road, and immediately backed away, filled with smiling faces, and lined the streets to welcome them. Lin Xiao came to the entrance of the dungeon, and everyone's eyes were fixed on the portal. Lin Xiao was not like them. He blocked the door and shouted for a long time without daring to enter. He only stayed for a second, chose the dungeon difficulty, and stepped in without looking back. The blue portal turned red, and the whole audience exclaimed. They all knew what this meant. It meant that Lin Xiao was not pretending, but that he really chose the purgatory copy. Chapter 53. The news that Lin Xiao entered the purgatory dungeon quickly spread throughout the internet, and at the same time, it also alarmed countless offline bosses. Dynasty Club, the most luxurious entertainment club in Yanhai City, in the spacious and luxurious emperor's private hall, a middle-aged man with a slicked back hair was sitting on the sofa. On both sides of him sat two beautiful young girls. The girl is still very young and is a part-time beauty at a nearby university. Behind the middle-aged man stood 2 rows of tough men in black suits. The 2 school beauties were obviously frightened by this formation. The middle-aged man remained motionless, and they did not dare to act coquettishly. At this moment, a mature and beautiful woman in her 30s walked into the private room. She was wearing a white cheongsam with a charming look. The hem of the cheongsam was open all the way to her waist. Even the well-trained bodyguards in suits also I couldn't help but stare at her snow-white legs and secretly swallowed my saliva. As soon as the beautiful woman arrived, the 2 school beauties stood up quickly, Sister Hong. As soon as the beautiful woman waved her hand, the 2 school beauties quickly slipped out as if they had received amnesty. The middle-aged man also waved his hand, and both rows of bodyguards walked out of the private room in a wise manner. The beautiful woman sat next to the middle-aged man with a smile on her face. A smile appeared in the middle-aged man's eyes. He then placed a hand on the beautiful woman's leg, caressing her legs freely and comfortably, from the knee to the thigh, go up bit by bit. Just when the middle-aged man's hand was about to break through the bottom line, the beautiful woman gently held his hand. Mr. Zhao, I just received the news that Jian Yu has entered the purgatory dungeon. The middle-aged man's expression changed, and his hands immediately stopped moving. The beautiful woman asked again, do you think he can really clear the purgatory dungeon alone? The middle-aged man said solemnly, no. The beautiful woman asked, why? The middle-aged man said proudly, because, this is the result calculated by 200 senior engineers of our company. It is absolutely impossible for Jian Yu to clear the purgatory dungeon alone. When he encounters the ghosts and horses, he will fail. The beautiful woman sneered, it seems that the sword feather is not as awesome as the legend. The middle-aged man said, the rumors are indeed exaggerated, but it is undeniable that he is indeed a rare genius. I know that many people are thinking about him now. We can't fall behind. You can enter the game now to communicate with him. Now, we must bring him to our company at all costs. The beautiful woman deliberately acted coquettishly and said, no matter what the cost, then if he wants me. The middle-aged man smiled seductively and said, then he is dreaming. You are the only treasure that I, Zhao Hongli, cannot trade. Even Jian Yu is not worth my huge investment. The beautiful woman smiled happily, and then she lay on the sofa and entered the game. Zhao Hongli stared at her undulating and tempting body, licked his tongue, his eyes were burning. After Lin Xiao entered the dungeon, what he saw in front of him was a winding and rugged canyon passage. In the passage, 2 kinds of wild monsters were mixed together. One is a bone-chopping bull holding a giant axe. Those bone-chopping bulls are more than 3 meters tall, with ferocious faces, and their noses are constantly spraying fire mist. At first glance, they are superhuman shields. The other type is the fire-loving witches. Those fire-loving witches are covered in flames, and their mouths keep making disgusting evil smiles. Whether it is the bone-chopping bull or the fire-loving witch, their attributes have been enhanced by purgatory. It is no exaggeration to say that they are mini-bosses. Because it was a physical and magic damage mixed attack, Lin Xiao was unable to trigger the enchantment conversion single defense function of the equipment, and there were so many of them, it was indeed quite difficult. It truly is a purgatory level copy. However, Lin Xiao didn't mind. Just now, the god-killing ring was turned around in the hand of the sand sculpture of Ren Kuang Wudi, and it was filled with killing points. This can be said to be a great help to Lin Xiao. Blast of Wind and Shadow Slash. There were too many wild monsters, and it was a mixed attack with two types of damage. Even Lin Xiao couldn't guarantee that he would be able to resist it. Therefore, Lin Xiao did not choose to attract the monsters, but wisely chose the Swift Wind Shadow Slash. Bang! Wherever the strong wind went, wild monsters were swept away one after another. All the crispy fire-loving witches were killed in the air, and the fleshy and bone-chopped bulls also failed to survive even though they still had residual health. Flying Chop. Lin Xiao's figure flashed forward and slashed violently in the air. Under the critical strike of the huge sword light, those bone-chopping bulls also died. Lin Xiao rushed forward suddenly. Yi Shuiyan. There was a heavy rain, and the water condensed into ice. The surrounding wild monsters were all frozen before they could react. Crispy Skin died on the spot. The remaining bulls were attacked by Lin Xiao's sharp blade, and they were also killed. Didn't escape. Skyfire Crazy Dragon. The fire dragon roared out, and because of the subsequent damage, Lin Xiao did not need to make up for the damage even if it was a slicing bull. In order to speed up the progress, he directly started a quick step and passed through the sea of fire. Relying on unreasonable and violent output, Lin Xiao successfully fought his way to the middle of the canyon. Here, he met the ghostly man and horse that Zhao Hongli said. The ghost Lima is a centaur and half-horse monster, with the upper body of a brute force ghost. It has a huge grimace covered with blood stains, its fangs spit out of its mouth, and green sticky saliva keeps dripping from the corners of its mouth. It's disgusting. Horrible, terrifying. The lower body is that of a ghost horse, with its skin and flesh exposed, and only white bones remaining in many places. You can even see half of the undigested human remains in its abdomen and stomach. Gailai Renma, a surreal ghost with a terrifying will. Level 17 Grade Silver HP 90722 Attack Power 3699 Defense, 5005 Skill, the ghost horse charges and rushes towards the target. The violent impact will cause huge damage to the enemy, and once the enemy is hit, it will be trampled by its iron hooves. The damage caused by the trampling is twice the impact damage. Terrifying Will, the ghost Lyman uses his terrifying will. In addition to suffering huge damage, the frightened enemy will also lose its fighting spirit and be disarmed for 3 seconds, and will not dare to launch any attacks on it. Separation of man and horse. Ghost Li and man and horse can split themselves into two, half Ghost Li and half Ghost Horse. The two can fight together and attack the enemy together. The various attributes of the Ghost Li people are not much better than those of other silver boss, but their skills are much more abnormal. No wonder Zhao Hongli concluded that Lin Xiao would fail after arriving here. However, Lin Xiao didn't think so. Lin Xiao raised the Catalina sword in his hand. But, at this moment, his message box jumped. Blood-red lips? Lin Xiao was stunned. This person was not his friend, and he had clearly set it up not to allow strangers to contact him. How could this blood-red fragrant lip send him a message? But who was Lin Xiao? Soon, he understood that the other party had a secret word card. The secret word card could force him to send messages to any player, but if the other party still chose to block her, she could not continue to harass him. Therefore, in order to avoid failure in striking up a conversation, these people usually make their first words very provocative, making people unable to bear to block them. Lin Xiao clicked on the message box. The Great Master should be able to win over the Gailai people soon. Maybe the Great Master doesn't want to hear it, but I still have to say, in fact, my boss has already anticipated the result. You will not win tonight. But, even though you will fail, he still appreciates you very much, so don't worry about this little failure later. As long as you are willing, Great God, you can get anything from my boss except me. I don't know, Great God later. Can we please discuss it in detail? Chapter 54. Will there be no victory tonight? Lin Xiao sneered contemptuously. Although he didn't know who the boss of Blood Red Fragrant Lips was, Lin Xiao was naturally unhappy because this guy dared to assert that he had failed. Lin Xiao replied with a message, "Ignorant people are the most ridiculous." The message came back instantly, "Master, what do you mean?" Lin Xiao said, "Nothing, I will block you again in 10 minutes. Master, we are really sincere, why do you have to reject people thousands of miles away? And why do you have to wait 10 minutes? You'll know then. Now, shut up." Lin Xiao immediately closed the dialogue box. Although the skills of the ghostly people are very abnormal, they are not invincible. In fact, Lin Xiao already has a plan in mind. He even started the game video and prepared to record his heroic appearance later, because he knew that he would show off later and even himself would admire himself, so he had to record it for the entire audience to enjoy. Blast of Wind and Shadow Slash. Lin Xiao kicked off the decisive battle with a blast of wind. When the ghostly horse was swept by the strong wind, it immediately entered a state of rage. It turned around and rushed towards Lin Xiao. Ghost Horse Charge. The huge bodies of the ghostly men and horses, carrying a huge force, rushed towards me like lightning. The canyon was so narrow that Lin Xiao had no way to avoid it. Flying Chop. In this situation, Lin Xiao did not choose the foolproof operation of 100 steps flying sword, but risked his life and chose Flying Slash. This is an extremely dangerous move, because in the lightning-fast state of the ghostly horse, it is difficult for him to accurately find the landing point of the Flying Slash. If he finds the wrong place, it will just land on the ghostly horse. In front of him, he would be directly knocked over by the ghostly men and horses, and then trampled brutally several times. Even if Lin Xiao did not die, the ghostly men and horses would add another terrifying wool, and Lin Xiao would be disarmed for 3 seconds and unable to launch any attacks. No way out. This is an operation that no player can perform, but Lin Xiao completed it. He accurately dodged behind the fast-shooting ghostly horse and slashed out a blade of light in the air. The sword light locked onto the ghostly horse, dragged it for more than 20 meters, and finally struck it hard. Cross Evil Moon Slash. Lin Xiao's speed was already fast enough. Almost as soon as he landed on the ground, he slashed out Zhongjian Zanyu and crossing the 8 directions. However, the ghostly horse performed a jaw-dropping move. Its huge body could not easily turn around in the narrow canyon, but it actually stayed where it was, like magic, changing the direction of its head and tail, and recoiled back. This kind of operation can be said to be system cheating. But Lin Xiao didn't take it seriously, because he had experienced too many such things and was no longer surprised. Lin Xiao quickly swept out the Fearless Wind Wall. Face Hey 8, boom! The ghost horse charge of the ghostly men and horses hit the Fearless Wind Wall hard, and the huge shock wave made the entire canyon tremble, and rocks fell. Flash. Originally, Lin Xiao could hide behind the wind wall at this time and use Bai Gui Li Renma's skills. However, he unexpectedly flashed back and flashed 20 meters away. If others saw this kind of operation, they would definitely think that Lin Xiao was flustered and had misremembered the skills in his mind, so he cast them randomly. But 0.01 seconds later, the facts will smash all their faces. I saw that the moment Lin Xiao dodged away, a ball of terrifying black energy burst out from the ghostly horse. The Will of Terror. The ghostly horse could not break through the wind wall, so it released its terrifying will. Although Lin Xiao's wind wall could withstand all physical attacks and enemies, it could not withstand light, wind and other void attribute attacks. The black energy of the terrifying will passed through the gap in the wind wall in an instant. If Lin Xiao hadn't dodged away without hesitation, now he would not only have to bear a huge amount of magic damage, but also be disarmed for 3 seconds, and the battle would probably be over. Twist, even directly GG. Lin Xiao's operation has gone beyond the scope of simple operation. It comes from his rich combat experience in his previous life. Without the accumulation of rich combat experience, he would never be able to make such an accurate prediction. Looking at the whole server, so far, the only one who can pull off this trick is Lin Xiao. Skyfire Crazy Dragon. The fire dragon passed through the black mist and wind wall, swallowing up the ghostly men and horses. The basic attributes of the ghostly horse were not high. Under Lin Xiao's repeated blows, the ghostly horse's HP was only 30% left, and Lin Xiao's more and more powerful attacks caused more and more damage. The wind wall disappeared, and the ghostly troops launched the ghost horse charge again. 100 steps flying sword. The lightsabers and the ghostly men and horses passed each other in the canyon, and the ghostly men and horses were hit hard again. The ghostly horse, which had reached the state of life and death, was furious. The moment the lightsaber passed through it, its body was split into two. Gui Li's men and horses used his special skills, and the men and horses separated. A ghost swordsman who lost his legs and was suspended in the air, and a headless corrupt ghost horse, together they launched a fatal blow towards Lin Xiao. For a time, the entire canyon was filled with ghosts and shadows, and there were faint voices. Victory or defeat, life or death, all in one fell swoop. Lin Xiao's lips curved into a sneer. The holy light is coming. The holy light filled the canyon, and whether it was the ghost swordsman or the corrupt ghost horse, they were all blinded and lost their goals. Nishuyan. The holy light combined with the ice rain was enough to kill the remaining ghost swordsman and the corrupt ghost horse. The only uncertainty was whether Lin Xiao could survive. Bang! Lin Xiao was knocked out by the impact of the corrupt ghost horse. At the same time, there were several ghost blades stuck in his body. Lin Xiao's 100 steps flying sword and flash had already been used. Lin Xiao was naturally unable to dodge this attack of ghostly shadows and brutal impact. However, the refined equipment with +5 for the whole body is not a piece of cake. Even if the ghostly people's final desperate attack explodes the damage, it is absolutely impossible to kill Lin Xiao with 7,000 plus HP and 2,000 plus double defense in an instant. Lin Xiao's blood volume dropped by half, but he had the last laugh. Soon, the announcement of Lin Xiao's killing of Gui Li's troops spread throughout the server. In the private room, Zhao Hongli was about to rub some oil on Sister Hong who had logged into the game. However, just when his mouth was about to kiss Sister Hong's chest, Sister Hong screamed and woke up suddenly. Zhao Hongli was startled and said with some displeasure, "What's wrong? Weren't you asked to communicate with Jian Yu about recruiting him? Why did you quit the game so quickly? Didn't he reply to your message?" Sister Hong said in a panic, No, he responded to the message, but he said. Zhao Hongli said anxiously, "What did he say? Say it quickly." "He said he would block me in 10 minutes. Why do you have to wait 10 minutes? No. Don't know, but what? Say it quickly." When it comes to Jian Yu, Zhao Hongli has completely lost the gentleness he had before. Sister Hong was also frightened and said in a trembling voice, "He killed Gai Lai and his horse alone." Zhao Hongli froze on the spot. The author has something to say. I don't know what mentality some readers have when reading novels, licking dogs? Xie Min was permanently sealed for the male protagonist in her last life, so what's wrong with the male protagonist being nicer to her in this life? Now she's licking dogs? Ungrateful, heartless, and unjust. Good character. Chapter 55. Zhao Hongli is the president of an underground foundation. His foundation has been laundering money for various big shots all year round. At the same time, it has also invested in many listed technology companies. He is a ruthless character who takes both black and white. Since he joined the Eternal Journey Profit Federation, he has invested all his resources in the game. He knows very well that the Eternal Journey is a game that he absolutely cannot afford to lose, so he must recruit enough gaming talents to work for him. He had thought about sending someone to clear the Purgatory level dungeon before, but after careful calculations by more than 200 senior engineers in the company, he finally came to the conclusion that with the current strength of the players in the game, no one could beat it. Purgatory level copy, including Sword Feather. The engineers under him are all the world's top computer geniuses. 1 or 2 calculation errors are excusable, but 200 errors together are unforgivable. Zhao Hongli was stiff for a long time, and finally made a call. "Old Zhou, before you promised me that Jian Yu would never be able to defeat the ghostly troops, what do you say now?" "Mr. Zhao, this is impossible. My team carefully studied his performance yesterday and calculated his damage and defense. No matter how good his operation is, he will never be able to do it. It's impossible to beat the ghostly troops." It turned out that Zhao Hongli's men calculated Lin Xiao's strength based on his performance yesterday. This method is naturally no problem for other players, because no matter how much other players improve, they cannot double their numbers in one day. But this method is obviously not suitable for Lin Xiao. If the whole body is refined to +5, the defense and health can be more than doubled. When the God-killing ring is fully stacked, the basic attack can be increased by another 100%. The Lin Xiao of today is no longer the Lin Xiao of yesterday, but they want to use the sword of the previous dynasty to kill the officials of this dynasty. Isn't this funny? Lao Zhou on the other end knew Zhao Hungli's temper very well, and said quickly, Mr. Zhao, don't worry, there may be a slight accident in our calculation, but it will definitely not affect the result. Even if Jian Yu is lucky, he can kill Gui Li alone. There is no way he can clear the purgatory dungeon. Zhao Hungli snorted coldly, really? I'm warning you, I have devoted my life and fortune to the eternal journey, and there will be no room for failure. I'll ask you again. You'd better think clearly about your answer. Do you dare? I guarantee that Jian Yu will never be able to defeat the purgatory dungeon. Lao Zhou said, I 100% guarantee that Jian Yu will never be able to defeat the purgatory dungeon, because what he will face next is Kasha Pao, the ultimate boss in the dungeon. This is definitely not a boss he can face now. I can guarantee this with my life and fortune. Zhao Hungli then snorted coldly and said, you'd better make sure you didn't make a mistake in your calculations, otherwise, I can 100% guarantee that if I get angry, the consequences will be very serious. Zhao Hungli hung up the phone and said to Sister Hong, you can re-enter the game immediately. I don't care what method you use, you must win the opportunity to cooperate with Jian Yu. Remember, as long as he is willing to cooperate with me, I can pay any price, including you. Sister Hong was shocked, Mr. Zhao, you. Zhao Hungli shouted, what's the problem? Sister Hong swallowed her saliva and said tremblingly, no problem. Lin Xiao cleaned up the treasures that the Ghost Li troops had discovered. In addition to 2 pieces of purple equipment with excellent attributes and 20 magic fairy stones, there was also a dragon's blood orchid and a dragon's tooth grass. Dragon blood orchid, an important material for making blood pool elixirs. Aralia grass, an important material for making punishment pills. Lin Xiao curled his lips. After so many days of research, he finally got the 2 materials he had asked for but never got. After Lin Xiao got the elementary alchemy book from Xin Yuka before, he bought a lot of materials for making elixirs in the misty jungle, but those were ordinary materials and could only make some ordinary elixirs, and some for ordinary players. The blood returning and blue elixirs are okay, but it is absolutely impossible to create those special elixirs with magical effects. Because those special talismans require special materials to make, and Lin Xiao has never found them, so he can only keep dragging them. Now that he has acquired Dragon Blood Orchid and Dragon Tooth Grass, he can finally officially make the elixir. Lin Xiao used his mind to bring up the elixir manufacturing interface. Please choose the elixir you want to make. Lin Xiao first chose the Blood Pool Pill Talisman. Please put the required materials into the corresponding spaces. Lin Xiao first put in the Dragon's Blood Orchid, and then put the various herbs accumulated in the past few days into the spaces as required. Only 1 Dragon's Blood Orchid is needed, but the remaining materials add up to more than 500 copies, which shows how precious and important this Dragon's Blood Orchid is. Ding! The Blood Pool Talisman has been made. Blood Pond Talisman can instantly restore 70% of lost health. The shelf life is 30 days, and the cooling time is 300 seconds. Ordinary blood recovery potions can restore a certain amount of blood within 15 seconds. That amount of blood recovery can no longer meet Lin Xiao's needs, not to mention that it takes 15 seconds. When killing a boss alone, life and death often only happen in a split second, so how can you still wait 15 seconds for your life? However, it is worth noting that the instant blood return of the blood recovery elixir does not mean to restore 70% of the health value, but to restore 70% of the lost health value. There is an essential difference. For example, if you have 100 blood points and lose 10 points, then the recovery will be 70% of the 10 points. It will only restore 7 blood points, which is simply a waste. With a cooling time of 300 seconds, there is basically no chance for you to use it a second time. And if 99 points of blood are lost, the effect will be astonishing. 70% of 99 can instantly restore 69.3 points of blood. The difference is huge. The more blood lost, the more recovery will occur, which will test the player's damage calculation ability. If the calculation is wrong and the damage is not used until death, it will be really screwed up. Later, Lin Xiao made another punishment pill. Punishing Pill Talisman. After being cast on the enemy, it will cause a special disciplinary effect on the enemy, instantly taking away 10% of the enemy's health, and at the same time clearing all positive status on the enemy. Shelf life, 30 days. Cooling time, 300 seconds. The so-called positive state refers to all beneficial blessing attribute states such as movement acceleration, attack speed increase, defense enhancement, attack enhancement, life enhancement, etc. After the boss is angered, he likes to explode all kinds of abnormal attributes, and the punishment elixir is the most perverted. There are many kinds of elixirs in Eternal Journey, but players can only equip 2 kinds at a time, and after equipping them, they must wait 2 hours before they can replace other elixirs. Therefore, there is no situation where the elixir is abused. After Lin Xiao equipped the Blood Pond Pill Talisman and the Punishment Pill Talisman, his confidence instantly exploded. In just a few minutes, he reached the deepest part of the Netherworld Fortress. Kasha Peo, the final boss of the Purgatory Dungeon, finally awaits her challenger. The author has something to say. In a few days, the book will build a reader group. I will announce the group number at that time. Please pay attention. It is almost 12 o'clock. I don't have time to thank everyone who has tipped me one by one. I will update it first and grab a dragon seat. I will wait for you later. I've compiled the list, and I'll thank you one by one. Chapter 56. Kasha Peo is a snake girl. If you look at the upper body alone, even a man with kidney deficiency and anemia would be unable to help but have a nosebleed on the spot. Her appearance, eyes, and even every strand of her hair exude an irresistible charm. There was fog in the valley, and the fog condensed into water droplets on her crystal skin. Even those water droplets made people feel wonderful. If it were placed in the real world, I am afraid there would be countless billionaires who would spend huge amounts of money just to get it. He could lick the water droplets off her body with his own mouth. But if you look at her lower body, it will make all men feel cold in their crotches. Her lower body is a thick and terrifying snake tail. The dark green snake pattern exuded a chilling black air. Even from a long distance, Lin Xiao could feel a chill that was crushing his heart and lungs. Lin Xiao glanced at her attributes. Kasha Peo, an evil succubus who specializes in sucking men's brains. She can make men smile with the most pleasant satisfaction when she sucks their brains. Level 18 Grade Silver HP 156000 Spell Power 7924 Double Defense 6912 Just looking at these basic attributes, they are already more than half as strong as Caitlina. At that time, Lin Xiao almost lost to Caitlina, if he could still barely compete. Then look at her skills and special attributes, and it's completely different. Skills: Binding Swamp, Deadly Fangs. Bound Swamp, Kasha Peo sprays out a ball of venom, which will pollute the nearby ground. All enemies within the venom pollution range will suffer huge amounts of venom damage. At the same time, they will also be subject to the swamp-bound state. Slowed down by 50%, cannot be accelerated, and cannot use any assault displacement skills. This means that once Lin Xiao is in the venom-contaminated area, he will not be able to use skills such as Blade Assault, 100-Step Flying Sword, Flash, etc. He will not even be able to use quick steps to accelerate away. It can be said that this skill is the nightmare of all operational players. Once you are trapped in the venom swamp, don't even think about showing off again. Deadly Fangs, Kasha Peo will continuously spit venom at the target. The venom can be stacked. When the venom damage reaches 3 stacks, the enemy will be in a weak state for 5 seconds. Enemies in a weak state will have their attack power, defense power, and movement speed halved. In addition to her unreasonable skills, what's even more frightening is that she also has a hidden attribute. Hidden attribute requires identification. When attacked, it will be displayed automatically. Please be mentally prepared, because the identification results are often disappointing to the enemy. These are all the information released by the official website before. It is precisely because of seeing these information that no one dares to challenge the purgatory copy. The top engineers under Zhao Hongli also calculated that Lin Xiao would never succeed in the challenge. Until just now, Lao Zhou was still convinced of his own judgment. It was precisely because of this mysterious confidence that he dared to bet his life and fortune on Lin Xiao's loss. But Lin Xiao doesn't think so. Lin Xiao's greatest confidence is that he knows that he will never be defeated, and he is very capable of resisting. Because, although Kasha Peo's damage is abnormal, it is poisonous magic damage from a single target. Lin Xiao's equipment can be enchanted and transformed, all of which are changed to magic defense. A single target's magic defense of up to 4,000 plus and a blood volume close to 8,000 are enough to ensure that Lin Xiao will not be burped by one move. But Lin Xiao did not attack rashly, because Kasha Peo was staring at him. A boss like her already had his own consciousness, so he must not act like a brainless fool just when he saw her. Because, if you are lucky, you can get more unexpected gains from these boss. Kasha Peo slowly swam toward Lin Xiao, her snake tail twisting out beautiful ripples on the ground. The wild bra made of snakeskin could not cover the surging snow peaks, and the white and full snow on the peak, the water droplets condensed by the mist looked particularly crystal clear and attractive. Kasha Peo twisted her slender waist to get closer and said with a leisurely smile, "I guess you have never had S**x with a snake girl, right?" Lin Xiao said Kasha Peo added, "Why? Is it because you think snake girl can't make you happy like other women?" As he spoke, Kasha Peo got closer and closer to Lin Xiao. Giggle. Kasha Peo made a heartwarming smile. Actually, compared to other women, snake girls can make men feel happier. Kasha deliberately stretched out her tongue and licked her red lips. Her tongue was different from humans. It was a slender and forked snake tongue. When she stretched out, an intoxicating fragrance filled the air. This was a naked provocation, but Lin Xiao remained indifferent. Kasha Peo sighed, "Hey, he is indeed a different man. Perhaps only a goddess like Kiana, the Night King, can move your cold heart." Lin Xiao was shocked, "Do you know Night King Kiana?" Kasha Peo was also stunned, but immediately, she sneered, "I didn't expect that a newbie like you would actually hear the name of the Night King. It's really strange." Lin Xiao said coldly, "What is your relationship with Kiana?" Kasha Peo admitted generously, "When His Majesty the Night King left the Holy Light Continent, he left behind many demon pets, and I was one of them." Lin Xiao was shocked. This snake girl was actually Kiana's pet? Although Lin Xiao inherited Kiana's Night King system, his understanding of Kiana was limited to knowing that Kiana was a peerless goddess. Even though she has been missing for hundreds of years, King Pillow of the Sword Sect of Sword Immortal City still misses her. Apart from her beauty, Lin Xiao knew nothing about anything else. Unexpectedly, she actually raised a large number of demon pets. So, does her camp represent the evil spirits of darkness or the gods of justice? Kasha Peo said, "You seem to be yearning for my master." Lin Xiao said, "I'm just curious." Kasha Peo added, "My master is definitely not something someone like you can imagine, and you are not even qualified to look up to her, but..." Kasha Peo's eyes were full of charm. "You can fantasize about me. You can fantasize about what kind of exciting experience it would be to have S**x with a snake girl. Maybe, I will really satisfy your fantasies." Oh. After saying that, she stretched out her snake tongue and licked her lips. Lin Xiao smiled slightly, "I don't think you and I will have any happiness. When I kiss you, your tongue will release venom, making me fall into a state of paralysis and illusory happiness. Then, your hair will turn into countless thin snakes, bite my head open, insert into my skull, suck my brain, and finally, I will become a brainless corpse with a satisfied smile, right?" Lin Xiao had seen countless snake girls in his previous life. Compared with those high-end snake girls, Kasha Peo's little trick was not even on the stage. How could Lin Xiao take it seriously? In the previous life, there were countless master players who dedicated their real lives to the bodies of various banshees. Lin Xiao would not follow in their footsteps. Lin Xiao rejected Kasha Peo's temptation, and her face suddenly became gloomy and vicious. Chapter 57. Kasha Peo said ferociously, "For an insignificant and worthless ant like you, it is a very happy thing to die in happiness, but if you insist on refusing like a fool, then you don't regret." Kasha Peo's eyes suddenly turned murderous. Lin Xiao did not intend to reveal his identity as the inheritor of the Night King system. Because the purpose of his coming today is to get Mo Union's mysterious reward, so no matter who Kasha Peo is, he must kill Kasha Peo. Not to mention that she is just a pet of Kiana, even if she is Kiana's closest sister, Lin Xiao will not be lenient. Lin Xiao has experienced the changes in the King Salamander, and he knows very well that this world cannot tolerate the Virgin. When the end comes, even if you kneel on the roadside and kowtow to 10,000 people and pray, no one will lend a helping hand to you. Therefore, the knife in everyone's hand must be wielded for himself. Whether a person should kill does not depend on whether he should die, but only depends on whether killing him can benefit himself. Therefore, Lin Xiao and Kasha Peo took decisive action together without declaring war on each other. Swift Pace. Cross Evil Moon Slash. Before casting the Cross Evil Moon Slash, Lin Xiao first activated the Swift Step. In the eyes of many people, this was an operation that even a mentally retarded child could not perform, but Lin Xiao just did it. Slash the moon with your sword. HP-4187. Across all directions. HP 5648. Naturally, it was impossible for Kasha Peo to let Lin Xiao have S*X for nothing. Deadly Fangs. A ball of green venom immediately sprayed towards Lin Xiao. Fearless Wind Wall. Kasha Peo's venom splashed on the wind wall, but not only failed to cause any harm to Lin Xiao, but was rebounded by the wind wall and returned to herself. HP 2346. Because it was her own attack and she did not enjoy Lin Xiao's various abnormal attribute blessings, Kasha Peo did not suffer too much damage. Despite being shown off, Kasha Peo not only didn't care, but even smiled. Because the area where Lin Xiao was located had been contaminated by a venom emerging from the ground. Kasha Peo's binding swamp does not require a cast forward movement and can be cast invisibly. Therefore, even Lin Xiao cannot accurately predict where she will plant the venom seeds. Since it's impossible to predict, it's better to use offense instead of defense, deal your own damage with all your strength first, and stay the same to deal with all changes. Lin Xiao was eroded by the venom swamp and began to lose blood continuously. HP 1542. HP 1542. Kasha Peo was stunned because the damage value was far lower than she expected. But there is nothing we can do about it. After all, Lin Xiao's enchantment switch to double defense is not a vegetarian. Skyfire Crazy Dragon. Lin Xiao stood in the venom area and stabbed out the fire dragon. HP 6053. In just 2 exchanges of moves, both parties suffered losses. It is still difficult to say who lost and who gained, and who was better. However, at the moment when the wind wall was about to disappear, Lin Xiao began to retreat. This retreat naturally means that Jian Yu is timid in the eyes of ordinary players, but players with a little bit of discernment will be amazed at this. Because in the venom field, Lin Xiao could not use any displacement acceleration skills. But Lin Xiao started the fast pace in advance, so the acceleration is still effective. Although it is slowed down by 50% at this time, it is still much faster than the normal movement speed. Soon, Lin Xiao left the venom field. At the same time, because the Skyfire Dragon had subsequent damage, Lin Xiao could also use the damage to suck blood and restore a little blood. Although there were not many replies, Lin Xiao had taken care of all the details in the entire confrontation. It was really impeccable. Lin Xiao continued to retreat. Even though he was hit by Kasha Peo's deadly fangs, he did not fight back. In the end, he even withdrew from Kasha Peo's attack range. This made Kasha Peo sneer, because Lin Xiao was seeking his own death. Although it is true that Lin Xiao has several long-range attack skills, Sword Demon is not a true long-range profession after all, and his furthest attack distance is only 50 meters. As for true long-range professions, the shortest skill distance is more than 70 meters, and the farthest skill can even be infinite. This is not an exaggeration, it is a fact. For example, the archer's flying sun arrow and the gunner's arcane laser have infinite distance. Unless they hit the enemy or hit an object, they can reach infinite distance. Lin Xiao used a melee profession to fight a long-range profession, but he actually took the initiative to distance himself. Isn't this seeking death? Kasha Peo quickly caught up. Deadly Fangs. A ball of venom splashed towards Lin Xiao's back. Flash. Lin Xiao, who had been running for his life, suddenly appeared. The moment he appeared, venom appeared on the ground in front of him, and a large area of the ground was eroded and polluted. If Lin Xiao ducked into the venom swamp, he would be dead. However, Lin Xiao dodged towards the pursuing Kasha Peo. Lin Xiao extended the flash distance to the maximum, and the moment he landed, a gust of wind slashed out. Blast of wind and shadow slash. Flying chop. Lin Xiao's entire movement was done in one go. HP 6513. HP 6941. Kasha Peo never imagined that Lin Xiao's previous escape was just to seduce her, and now that Lin Xiao appeared and fought back, she could only regret her carelessness. At the same time, she also discovered that Lin Xiao's attacks were getting higher and higher, which she absolutely could not accept. Because, the higher the attack, the higher Lin Xiao's blood-sucking power, so she must fight quickly. Boom! She planted several poisonous seeds under her feet, and the poison spread quickly. As soon as Lin Xiao's flying slash landed, he was immediately restrained by the venom swamp. HP 1542. HP 1542. At the same time, the deadly fangs also dealt a terrifying blow to Lin Xiao. HP 3014. Great Destruction. Lin Xiao decisively started the Great Destruction and turned into a demon form, with his basic attack increased by 100%. Holy Light Realm. The Holy Light was turned on, and Cassiopeia was blinded. In this way, Lin Xiao did not need to worry about the attack of the deadly fangs. HP 12060. Blade Assault. HP 10563. Yishuian. HP-12550. Lin Xiao's attacks all dealt over 10,000 damage values, wildly consuming Cassiopeia's blood, and he only had to bear the damage from Cassiopeia's venom field. Lin Xiao is exchanging blood for blood. But after all, Cassiopeia's blood volume is super thick, so if we really continue to fight like this, the only loser is Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao knew this very well, so he would not do such a stupid thing. 100 Steps Flying Sword. After the Great Destruction is activated, it will be immune to all negative conditions for the duration, so Lin Xiao can successfully cast the 100-step Flying Sword. The 100 Steps Flying Sword dealt a super high explosive damage of 15,000, and Lin Xiaoren was 40 meters away. At this time, Lin Xiao only had 600 health left and could no longer withstand any blow, and he finally activated the Blood Pool Talisman. The more blood he lost, the more he recovered. Lin Xiao recovered 5,000 blood at a time. Then, Lin Xiao continued to distance himself and ran away. At this time, Cassiopeia finally understood Lin Xiao's intention. Lin Xiao is walking her like a dog. Lin Xiao knew very well that a set of skills could not kill her, so he just used one set and left. Then when he sees the opportunity, he flashes back, and then fights back to run away. If Lin Xiao fights her head-on, Lin Xiao will definitely die, but if he keeps pushing her like this, the result is really uncertain. Chapter 58. In general game perception, when melee professions compete with ranged professions, the ranged professions always treat the melee professions as fools, especially some operational long-range professions, such as archers, who can slip away professions such as barbarians and swordsmen. Got to be dizzy. You attack and he flashes. You speed up and he settles down. When they were surrounded, some of them were able to escape invisibly. Once they distanced themselves, they would attack while walking and have S*X for free. Even the most bloodthirsty warriors would be walked to death by them. However, Lin Xiao changed his style of play. Instead, he ran away after the prostitution. Taking advantage of Cassiopeia's unpreparedness, he flashed in and continued the prostitution for free, and then ran away after the prostitution. Of course, this kind of operation is only suitable for Lin Xiao, because he is the only one with such high blood volume and defense that allows him to perform such exciting operations. If others play like him, there will definitely be only one result. That is, after flashing past, before you have time to show off, you just GG on the spot. Lin Xiao once again withdrew from Cassiopeia's attack range. After using the blood pool elixir, his blood volume returned to a healthy state again. On the other hand, Cassiopeia suffered heavy blows one after another, and is still suffering the subsequent bleeding damage from the 100 Steps Flying Sword, with his health volume already less than 40%. Cassiopeia stopped chasing and sneered, "Miss Jian Yu, you are so afraid of death, I suggest you find a boyfriend to protect you, so that you can be a little BCH openly." Lin Xiao's lips curled up, "Are you waiting for the CD?" Cassiopeia's expression changed. Lin Xiao had killed so many enemies in his life, and what kind of enemies he had never encountered before. How could Cassiopeia's little thinking escape Lin Xiao's eyes? Lin Xiao unlocked her hidden attributes from the first blow. Cassiopeia's hidden attribute is the Poison Witch Blood Sacrifice. Poison Witch Blood Sacrifice. After 60 seconds of fighting, the Poison Witch Blood Sacrifice can be turned on. The Poison Witch Blood Sacrifice state lasts for 10 seconds. During the state, 50% of the total health and blood volume can be restored, and the Poison Witch Blessing can be obtained at the same time. The Poison Witch Blessing can increase poison damage by 100%. Even if ordinary players form a group, they will never be able to kill Cassiopeia within 60 seconds, so she definitely has a chance to activate this abnormal skill. However, Lin Xiao's damage far exceeded her expectations. In less than 50 seconds, she had already dropped below the healthy blood volume. She didn't dare to fight with Lin Xiao anymore, so she wanted to delay it for more than 10 seconds. However, Lin Xiao immediately said, "Actually, I am also dragging CDs." It turns out that Lin Xiao's skills have been exhausted. If he wants to deal with a boss with a thick blood volume like Cassiopeia, he must ensure that he has a full set of skills, especially the Great Destruction. Without the blessing of the Great Destruction, he would be more than half. None of his skills can be used, so he keeps pulling with Kasha Peo just to wait for the skill CD. Kasha Peo laughed wildly, in that case, how about we wait together? Lin Xiao raised the corner of his mouth and said with a playful smile, okay. Okay, I'll count to 10, and then we'll continue. Can. 10, 9, by the way, Jian Yu, I'll give you a piece of advice. What? The more beautiful a woman is, the more cunning she is. Never trust women again in your next life. As soon as he finished speaking, Kasha Peo started the poison witch blood sacrifice. It turned out that her CD had been prepared in advance, and she was deliberately confusing Lin Xiao. However, Lin Xiao didn't mind either, because he could already use up all his skills, and what he was waiting for was for Kasha Peo to start the poison witch blood sacrifice. Blade Assault. Lin Xiao rushed forward and struck Kasha Peo with a sword. HP 8436. Although he was not in the state of great destruction, Lin Xiao still dealt more than 8,000 ultra-high damage. Because Kasha Peo's blood volume is less than 50%, the blessings are getting stronger and stronger. This time the confrontation is already the final battle between the two, and the balance of victory has begun to tilt towards Lin Xiao. Faced with Lin Xiao's high damage, Kasha Peo was full of disdain, because she had begun to recover blood quickly, and the poison damage had already exploded. She planted poisonous seeds all over the ground around her. The area was so wide that even if Lin Xiao had a 100-step flying sword, he would never be able to escape. HP 3069. Looking at the damage numbers above Lin Xiao's head, Kasha Peo was extremely proud. If this continues, Lin Xiao will bleed to death in 3 seconds at most. However, the next second, she couldn't laugh anymore. Punishing Pill Talisman. Lin Xiao decisively released the Punishment Pill Talisman, and a mark of the Dragon Tooth Sword struck Kasha Peo's head. The poison witch blood sacrifice state on her head was immediately forcibly removed. Continuous blood regeneration, continuous explosion damage, and even her basic movement speed increase, all positive statuses have been cleared away. Kasha Peo suddenly turned pale and was horrified. The CD of the poison witch blood sacrifices as long as 200 seconds, and Lin Xiao will not wait for 200 seconds for her to release it again. In fact, Lin Xiao was not willing to wait for even 2 seconds. Great Destruction. Lin Xiao once again activated the Great Destruction. With the blessing of all hidden attributes, Lin Xiao's damage at this time had reached the highest critical point. The Holy Light is coming. HP 16099. Cross Evil Moon Slash. HP-10280. HP-15800. Originally, Cassia Peo did not recover much blood, but Lin Xiao's 2 skills slashed her more than 40,000 blood points. The key is that she was blinded and could not fight back, which pushed her to a dead end. Skyfire Crazy Dragon. 100 Steps Flying Sword. When the white light of the Holy Light disappeared, Kasha Peo only saw a lightsaber piercing her chest. Then, she saw that all her blood tanks were empty. In an instant, her whole body went limp. A chill of death permeated the whole body. Lin Xiao raised the corner of his mouth. I'm sorry, since I am willing to let you wait for the CD, then I am not afraid of you cheating. I will give you a piece of advice. Not every man will be deceived by women. Don't look down on yourself or look down on yourself in the next life. Man. Kasha Peo smiled miserably, I have learned a lesson. But immediately, she said again, but don't be complacent, when the Night King returns, the flowers of death will bloom all over the Holy Light continent, and you will not escape death. The road to hell is long, and the little girl goes first. At the crossing of the river Styx, the little girl awaits the arrival of your soul. Lin Xiao's eyes turned cold, and then he remembered that when he inherited the Night King system, the system guardian Xiaomeng once told him that when Qiana returns, all the Manzushawa in the entire Holy Light continent will fight for her. Bloom. But in fact, Manzushawa is a beautiful flower that represents death. Could it be that Qiana's return will bring destruction to the Holy Light continent? Lin Xiao took a deep breath and was about to ask again, but Kasha Peo had already exploded and died, leaving only a pile of generous rewards. Thank you, Taixia Elder of the Zhao Tian Gang, the king leads the flying, the world, Kaishan Gang's divine beast Qinglong, casually, Sui, embossing dreams, Jojo the big devil, fighting for the sofa with people with unnatural hand speed, 38962857, passers-by reading novels, 32507375, funny, gift given, I love all the bosses. Chapter 59. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the snake girl Kasha Peo, and you will receive the reward experience value plus 45000000. Advanced Experience Pill Wang Bao 2. With super high experience rewards and 10 high-level experience pills, Lin Xiao finally reached level 18. Lin Xiao planned to use 30 magic fairy stones to repay his debt. Although this amount of magic fairy stones was far from enough to repay the debt, Lin Xiao also had to pay it back, because if he didn't pay it back at all, it would be very difficult to borrow it next time. It's hard to speak. Moreover, Lin Xiao has also thought of a good way to repay the debt. He doesn't even have to do anything himself. Within 2 days, he can pay off the debt of hundreds of magic fairy stones. Both the woolen scimitar and the Lingtian warmer have very good attributes, and can be regarded as the best equipment of this level. But unfortunately, one is a special weapon for assassins, and the other is a special weapon for barbarians, so Lin Xiao can't use them, but he can use them. Exchanging money is also a good income. What really made Lin Xiao's heart beat wildly was the last treasure map of the Night King. Kasha Peo is the demon pet of Kiana, the Night King. Could it be that this treasure map of the Night King is also a treasure left by Kiana? Lin Xiao quickly checked. Night King treasure map. Unblocking the treasure map can start the activity of killing traitors. This treasure map has gambling options for you to choose from. Please check the gambling options carefully before making a decision. Bet option 1. The temporary benefit effects of the event belong to you and your teammates. After winning the championship, the rewards will be standard championship rewards. Betting option 2. The temporary gain effects of the event belong to all other players. After winning the championship, the rewards will be super champion rewards. For private treasure map activities like this, treasure map holders have the priority to choose temporary activity buffs and special effects. In the last treasure map activity of Saint Laurent, which was crazy and invincible, he gave all the temporary activity buffs and special effects to himself and his followers. Teammate, it's a pity that in the end, he still made Lin Xiao's wedding dress for free. But I have to say that his choice was absolutely wise. No one would be stupid enough to give away his own advantages to others. You know, in any national server, there are tens of millions of players fighting for it in the same server. If you don't use the advantage that is given to you, you will create tens of millions of perverted opponents for yourself, even if it is a pig that grew up eating brain fragments. And will never do such stupid things that make all mankind cry. In addition, Bao 2 also gave a special reminder at the end. This treasure map activity requires everyone to brainstorm to have a high chance of winning. It is recommended to form a team to participate. This tip is very unfriendly to a lone ranger like Lin Xiao. Forming a team means sharing rewards with teammates. This is only suitable for Lin Xiao in the previous life. Lin Xiao in this life has long forgotten what sharing is. Lin Xiao had to choose the betting option before he could view the specific event content. Lin Xiao thought about it and decided to start it tomorrow. Now, he had to go back to MO Union to collect the skin reward he deserved. On the game forum, there are already players from various national servers eager to show off their skin rewards. Naturally, ordinary skins are too embarrassed to show off. Those who show pictures are without exception the colorful skins obtained by swiping ordinary copies. The comprehensive attribute improvement increases by 10% 20, which is actually not much different. But there are different appearances. Some colorful skins don't look that good, but there are several series of colorful skins that look very cool and innovative. For example, the original plan skin, especially the original plan skin of the swordsman, has white hair, a long sword, an armored suit and a helmet. It looks like a vicissitudes of life and an elegant Japanese-style wandering swordsman. For another example, the sports series skins, especially the brutal sports series skins, are the funniest. A savage player wearing a basketball uniform, and even the iron axe in his hand can transform into a basketball hoop, and the special effects of returning to the city also change. It became a unique slam dunk. A variety of colorful skins attracted the envy of countless ordinary skin players, until one player showed off her limited edition signature skin. Because the dungeon activity, which is divided into 3 levels of difficulty, is unique to Saint Kasha, the player who received the limited signature skin is naturally a Saint Kasha player. This player is Fanhuaruoxiu. Although Fanhuaruoxiu is very cold, it has to be said that she does have her own strength. Otherwise, in the previous life, Lin Xiao would not have watched her operation videos to learn skills. Fanhuaruoxiu showed off a set of Legend of Sword and Legend Signature Assassin skins, and she uploaded a video. In the video, Fan Huaruoxiu is wearing a blue and white fairy dress, which is very stunning, and this skin has enhanced attributes. Very high, reaching 30%. What's even more amazing is that this skin also comes with special skin effects, and each skill has small exclusive changes. Suddenly, those players with colorful skins felt that the skin they got was no longer good. Just when Fan Huaruoxiu was immersed in the joy of enjoying the envy and admiration of players all over the network, a system notification shattered her joy instantly. Lin Xiao killed Kasha Peo, which meant that he cleared the Purgatory level fortress copy. Fan Huaruoxiu, as well as the previous proud players with colorful skins, were all dumbfounded for a moment. No. No way, even if he can swipe through this, he is still not human. Wait, doesn't he now get the gift of the most advanced mysterious skin? Damn it, I just got a lotus skin with 15% added attributes. Doesn't his mysterious skin have all the attributes increased? Don't worry, I can tell you responsibly that it is absolutely impossible to increase the attributes. If you don't see the signature skin, you only increase it by 30%? Skins are not equipment, and the attributes cannot be increased too much. Otherwise it will affect the balance of the game. Who are you? What you say means nothing. Sorry, I am a senior game planner. There is no one in the world who knows games better than me. Oh my god, it turns out that you are actually a senior gamer. May I ask what games you have planned before? Hello everyone, I am Zhazawai. If you are a brother, come and kill me. Hehehe, you understand. I understand you. It's a rubbish legend. It's 999 for a knife. I'm so perverted that I'm so embarrassed to talk about game balance with you. Brother, what you said is wrong. In short, I can guarantee that the attributes of Jian Yu's highest skin reward will only be 10% more than the limited edition signature skin at most. As for the appearance, I boldly predict that it may not be as good as Ruoxiu. Mrs. Limited Edition skin is very nice, if I guess wrong, you can come and chop me down. Seeing this comment, Fan Huaruoxiu finally felt a little relieved. She had finally cleared the difficult dungeon to get this limited edition skin. She had just enjoyed the admiration of the whole network for less than a minute. If she were to be compared to Lin Xiao now, it would be too much. If it's too much, it's really unacceptable. Fan Huaruoxiu prayed silently in her heart, praying that Lin Xiao's mysterious skin would never be too good. The author has something to say, thanks to you, Cube Man, Zha Tiangang, Ye Chen, Zhi Jingxian, Fen Yin, Minjiao Yuxin, 505377705, Li Feng Scorpio, Qing Yi Shenga, 974244438, 544945557 for the gift, and special thanks to Fen Yin for the gift Super Flower gift package. F9 Boss is awesome. Chapter 60. Lin Xiao returned to Fengxiang Tower. When he entered, Xin Yuko looked at him completely differently. When Lin Xiao asked him to borrow the Huanxian stone before, he really wasn't sure and was just gambling. But now, Lin Xiao used the facts told him that he made the right bet. Lin Xiao is definitely a person worth investing in. You take these 30 magic fairy stones first, and I will return the rest slowly. It's not urgent, it's not urgent. With just 2 words, your sword feather is worth more than a little magic fairy stone. By the way, if you need anything in the future, feel free to ask. Thanks. After a brief greeting, Lin Xiao came to the Goddess Pavilion at the back. In the Goddess Pavilion, Mo Yunyan's attitude also completely changed. This time, she took the initiative to invite Lin Xiao to sit on the seat next to her, and Lin Xiao sat down generously. Immediately, she raised her hand again and pulled away the red gauze covering her face. Then, Lin Xiao saw that familiar face again. Mo Yunyan was about 15 or 16 years old. She was younger than Xiamin and Nai Xiaowu. She had a pretty face with oval seeds and a faint blush on her cheeks. Like the peach blossoms in March, a smile adds 2 intoxicating dimples, and has an indescribable sweet and charming appearance. Actually, I am not a bad girl, but the 3rd princess of True Dragon City. Oh. Mo Yunyan made up her mind to tell her true identity, but she didn't expect that Lin Xiao just said oh without any surprise. Mo Yunyan couldn't help but frown. Have you known my identity for a long time? Lin Xiao said, I don't know, but I'm generally not interested in things that have nothing to do with me. Mo Yunyan chuckled, you are indeed a strange person. I like people like you very much. If I said that I have a big life-threatening business and want to cooperate with you, would you be interested? Lin Xiao knew what the big deal she was talking about meant. She wanted to find a group of loyal warriors to help her seize the throne of the Lord of the True Dragon City. Lin Xiao said, as long as the reward is enough, I'm interested. As for the rest, I don't ask at all. Mo Yunyan's eyes lit up, okay. It's a deal. I'll talk to you in detail another day. Today, I'll give you the reward you deserve first. Immediately, Mo Yunyan handed a black and gold skin card to Lin Xiao, and Lin Xiao took it casually. Ding! Congratulations on unlocking the black gold skin card and getting the sword demon skin, soul of the holy dragon. Lin Xiao's body burst out with a burst of brilliant light. After the glare, his image changed instantly. The hard and cold battle armor turned into a cool bewitching night windbreaker. There was a blue dragon lying on the windbreaker. The blue dragon was not embroidered on the windbreaker, but a real dragon soul. Its image was as powerful as a prison. It surrounded the forest. Xiao's body floats and swims freely, as if it will shoot out of the sky at any time. Lin Xiao's hairstyle has also changed into elegant two-color filaments, and each hair has its own halo, which is very magical. And no matter how the wind blows, his long hair can always be styled in the coolest style. No matter how awesome Mr. Tony is, if his hair is not messed up during PK, he will never be able to achieve such an effect. Such an eye-catching image is enough to make all skin look dull. What's more important is the properties. Soul of the Holy Dragon, a skin protected by the Holy Dragon. Cooldown reduction, plus 50% attack speed, plus 100% basic attack power, plus 100% skill special effects modification, modification of all series. Hidden skill modification, covered modification of all series. Lin Xiao took a deep breath. To be honest, he didn't even have such high expectations for this mysterious gift. A 50% cooldown reduction is already the limit this game can achieve. Although the lightweight skin costume replaces the full body armor, it can indeed increase the attack speed, but it usually only increases by 20 to 30%, but the Holy Dragon Soul directly doubles it to 100%. He used to have 1 skill per second, but now he can play 2 per second. Lin Xiao's skill casting is already skillful, and with this improvement, who can beat his hand speed? Absolute critical hit, armor-piercing decisive attack, killing ring, 5 killing ring, more and more severe attacks and other blessings have increased Lin Xiao's attack by 5 to 6 times, and now it is doubled. Lin Xiao remembers clearly that when he went up when I achieved the times 7 attack achievement, my level had already exceeded level 50, and now, he has achieved it at level 18. Skill Special Effect Modification, as the name suggests, is to modify the special effects of skills. Lin Xiao's Holy Dragon Soul Skin is a whole series modification, that is, every skill will be modified. Lin Xiao then cast skill checks one by one in the courtyard. In the past, the Cross Evil Moon Slash produced 2 mediocre pure white sword lights, but now it produced 2 red sword lights, and behind the red sword lights there was a comet fire shadow, which was very stunning. What's more important is that it's not just special effects changes, but also various hidden changes and enhancements. For example, the new skill special effect of the 100-step flying sword adds a wide circle of flaming jagged edges to the edge of the flying sword. In this way, the coverage area of the flying sword is doubled, as if it is a one-way street. The same as the dual-lane road, although the damage has not been increased, the attack range has been increased. Another example is Yishuian. In the past, Yishuian needed to summon a shower, and the raindrops condensed into ice to cause damage control to the enemy. But now, Yishuian only needs to point his sword horizontally, and the surrounding air will freeze instantly. Freeze all enemies. Secret modifications like this can undoubtedly greatly enhance the player's strength. Even Fanhua Ruoxiu's signature skin can only secretly modify 1 or 2 skills. For this reason, Fanhua Ruoxiu even posted a video to show off, and Lin Xiao's, but the whole system has been secretly modified and strengthened. What's going on? It's been a long time since Jian Yu cleared the dungeon. Why hasn't he come out to show off his so-called mysterious skin? Could it be that he was let off by the NPC? It seems that the designer who loves to play with Blue Moon is right. The so-called mysterious skin is actually just a boast. It is nothing special at all. Maybe it is not as good looking as the limited edition signature model of Goddess Ruoxiu. Lin Xiao has not uploaded the video of the new skin for a long time, and Fanhua Ruoxiu is finally relieved. She uploaded her second video on her forum account, which was specially recorded when she led a team to clear a difficult copy. In the previous life, Fanhua Ruoxiu was a well-known video up host. With her wonderful videos, she conquered the entire internet. In this life, she finally started her own road to becoming an internet celebrity again. After watching it, the melon eaters left comments and compliments. As expected, she is the most beautiful assassin in the eternal journey. Her breasts are so big, oh no, I mean her skills are really good. This operation, this awareness, and this command ability are simply textbook-like teachings. I love it. To be honest, I think Goddess Ruoxiu's skills are better than Jian Yu's. I dare say that 99% of the time, under the premise of the same damage, Goddess Ruoxiu can outperform Jian Yu. Seeing so many complimentary messages, Fanhua Ruoxiu herself felt a little overwhelmed. Not only did she pin the comment praising her for being more beautiful than Jian Yu, she even posted Lin Xiao's forum account. Netizens are all joking. Please don't take it seriously. It's not easy to make a video for the first time. I sincerely ask the experts to comment. After receiving 8, Lin Xiao rolled his eyes speechlessly. He did not go to Fanhua Ruoxiu's account to comment. Instead, he uploaded 2 videos directly on his own account. One was a skin display video, and the other was a video he recorded of killing the ghostly warriors in Kasha. PEO's operation video. Thank you, Chinayu, Qingwu, Ziaiqi, Lang Yat, 835222501, Yanfeng, Zian Yin, sent blade from the reminder, 1234567, Wu Naxiu ER, 240315545, Wu Ying, who in the world is worthy of white clothes, for the great gift, wish you all good luck, 666-6666. Chapter 61. The first thing that was released was the video showing the skin of Holy Dragon Soul. The moment they saw the video, players all over the internet were so upset. Damn it! This Holy Dragon Soul skin is too perverted. This appearance, these attributes, and these skill special effects, each skill has been secretly modified and enhanced, it's like a limited edition signature 18 street strip. That BD designer who just wanted to play with Blue Moon, didn't UFG say that the whole network is begging you to kill me? Give me the coordinates immediately. Hey, this is the real good skin. Compared with the skin of the great god, ours can only be regarded as a beggar's outfit at best. Oh god! I am willing to make my little ding ding 3 centimeters smaller in exchange for this set of skins. Please help me. Damn it! Brother, you are too cruel. Have you ever considered your sister-in-law's feelings? You know what the heck, I'm talking about standing 3 centimeters above the ground. Damn it! Brother, you are too cruel. Have you ever considered your sister-in-law's feelings? Then, Lin Xiao's operation video was also uploaded. There were 2 operating videos of Lin Xiao that were circulated all over the internet. The scene was when he followed Feng Zongqi % to fight against the Fire Teeth Eagle Wolf. Feng Zongqi % was live broadcasting and recorded him. The other section is when he got 5 kills, which was recorded and uploaded by the official in accordance with the 5 kill rules. It can be said that Lin Xiao has never taken the initiative to upload a video. This time, Lin Xiao was really impressed by himself, so he couldn't help but share it. Sure enough, the melon eaters who had been praising the flowers like snow just now were all shocked when they saw Lin Xiao's operation. What a scam! The ghostly man rushed over like a sports car. In this case, not only did he dare to catch the flying slash, he actually caught it. What kind of magical operation is this? I started sprinting before the fight started. I originally wanted to say something stupid, but it turns out that if I don't start in advance, I will die. What kind of godlike consciousness is this? In the end, I persisted until there were only 600 points of blood left before using the elixir to restore blood. This simply calculated the damage to the extreme. This makes us useless people who are full of blood and drug addicts feel so embarrassed. Goddess Ruoxiu's operations can be mastered even if I learn them several times. Master Jian Yu's magical operations can't be mastered even if I ask actors to cooperate with them. Humph! Do you really think that Goddess Ruoxiu is here to learn skills? I'm embarrassed to point it out to you. Ha ha ha, just a big-breasted girl, can you talk about technology? Players who really want to learn technology will only watch the videos of Master Jian Yu. Real gamers like us don't need women. There have been more than 100,000 comments on Fanhua Ruoxiu's video, and the number of comments on Jian Yu's video has risen to more than 4 million. Fanhua Ruoxiu finally understood that gamers are a special group. In their eyes, games are more important than anything else. It is simply impossible to conquer them with the beauty of the goddess. She quickly sent a voice invitation to Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao raised the corner of his mouth and answered the call with a smile. Do you have a problem with me? Master, I was wrong. Fan Huaruoxiu's tone was very sincere, and Lin Xiao frowned. What do you mean? Fan Huaruoxiu smiled bitterly. Actually, I was so high profile before to prove to you that I am very capable. Lin Xiao said, whether you have strength or not has nothing to do with me. Do you need to prove it to me? Fan Huaruoxiu said, yes, because I think that when negotiating with someone like you, the great god, I must show my strength in order to win your respect. In this way, I can obtain the most favorable negotiation conditions for myself, but the facts have proved that I was wrong. In front of you, I have no strength at all. This was Fan Huaruoxiu's true words. Lin Xiao said coldly, what do you want to talk to me about? Fan Huaruoxiu said, well, I'm afraid I can only talk to you offline in person. Is it convenient for you? Lin Xiao said, I made it very clear that before the King Salamander changes, I will not meet anyone offline. Fan Huaruoxiu said hurriedly, but... Lin Xiao interrupted her directly, you know very well that you don't have the strength to negotiate terms with me, so the terms can only be set by me. Now, I have to hold a meeting with all the new great gods in Fengxiang Tower, and you have to come to attend. Since Ren Kuangwudi and others all immigrated, there have been 48 vacancies on the list of great gods, so many new great gods have filled their vacancies. Among these newly promoted masters, they all obtain first kill points by killing various wild bosses. Although there are also many who kill bronze bosses, their statistics are much better than those of Ren Kuang Invincible, but after all the first kill point of the bronze boss is only 10 points. Even the second-ranked Fan Huaruoxiu already has 37 first kill points. Compared with Lin Xiao's 560 first kill point, it is not at the same level. Because they had seen the fate of Ren Kuangwudi and others before, these new masters were very well behaved. After joining the chat group of masters, they would not dare to say anything bad except flattering Lin Xiao. Explain. Fan Huaruoxiu was stunned. You want to hold a meeting for us? What kind of meeting are you holding? Lin Xiao did not answer, but said, you will know when you come. If you don't come, I don't have to explain it to you. You decide whether to come or not. After saying that, Lin Xiao hung up the phone. Soon, all the new great gods came to Fengxiang Tower, including Fan Huaruoxiu. Lin Xiao met them in the reception room on the second floor. Lin Xiao sat on a dragon chair and ignored everyone in front of him. Although you are all great gods, none of you can get the daily great god reward. I think each of you is very unhappy. The great gods looked at each other, no one dared to speak, but not speaking was equivalent to revealing their intentions. Of course they all wanted rewards from the great gods, but Lin Xiao was too powerful, and almost all the good bosses were given by Lin Xiao alone. After finishing the brushing, they had no choice but to do it. Lin Xiao continued, if I give you a chance now so that you can get the daily great god reward in the future, will you be willing? The eyes of the great gods lit up. The player with the ID I am sword mad said, Master, are you serious? Lin Xiao said, of course, I just had a grudge against Ren Kuangwudi and the others in the past. I have nothing to do with you. I don't need to drive you all away. Fan Huaruoxiu said, then, what conditions do you have? Lin Xiao said, my conditions are very simple. From now on, you will share half of the first kill reward with me. What? Immediately, several players shouted. There are not many bronze bosses now. If you want to get the first kill, you have to fight the silver boss. If we form a team to get the first kill of a silver boss, it will take at least 20 minutes, and it may not be successful. The original reward is if it's not enough, Master, you still want to take half of it, isn't that too much? If you act like this, we will all be begging for food. Although they were also afraid of Lin Xiao, they had interests after all, so they had to muster the courage to fight for themselves. Lin Xiao said coldly, it makes sense, you have already worked so hard to defeat the boss, and I want to take half of it. It is indeed a bit too much. Okay, then everything will be as usual. From now on, I will spend 2 hours every day dedicated to it. Find the boss to get the first kill. The boss's first kill is gone, so you don't have to work hard anymore. When the great gods heard this, they were all dumbfounded. The author has something to say, thanks to Yechen and W of the God of All Realms Qi Temple for sending the reminder talisman as a reward. Damn, it's actually not W, but I really can't type that character. Hey, your ID is really embarrassing for me. In short, thanks to the two big guys for the reward, long live the big guys. Chapter 62. Lin Xiao immediately added, anyone who disagrees with my proposal can leave now, but I will say something ugly beforehand. Anyone who leaves now will not be provided with any services by my Fengxiang Tower in the future. This is undoubtedly another heavy blow to everyone. Today's equipment is no longer like before. In the past, as long as the boss explodes, you can directly pick it up and use it. But now that Lin Xiao has opened Fengxiang Tower, the equipment must undergo a series of upgrade operations such as refining, inlaying, and grade improvement in order to keep up with the mainstream. Especially the exclusive signature attribute of Fengxiang Tower. Without this attribute, the strength will be reduced by at least 30%. When all appraisals, all enchantments, and other services are opened in the future, the equipment that is not produced by Fengxiang Tower, even if it is the best, will be equivalent to garbage. It can be said that so far, no player in the entire Santa Cassia can live without Lin Xiao's Fengxiang Tower. Lin Xiao said in a deep voice, I have finished speaking. Whoever agrees or disagrees will give me the result immediately. The great gods lost their temper in an instant, and immediately they began to make calculations in their hearts. In the past, they had no chance to kill the high-level boss first, so they could only follow Lin Xiao to kill the second-hand boss, and the rewards they received were less than half of the first kill rewards. Now Lin Xiao gave them the opportunity to get the first kill. Although half of the reward was given to Lin Xiao, they actually didn't lose much. Not only is there no loss, but you can also gain first kill points. In this way, not only can their first kill data look much better and look decent, but they can also receive daily master rewards. Speaking of which, they have made a profit. In addition, after establishing a good relationship with Lin Xiao, it will be much easier to come to Fengxiang Tower to do business in the future. They all know that Lin Xiao has the Blood Pool Pill Talisman and the Punishment Pill Talisman on his body. These are all made by Lin Xiao himself. Currently, only Lin Xiao in the whole server can make elixirs. If they get the materials, they can only ask Lin Xiao to help them make them. Otherwise, even if they reveal the materials, they will only be ruined. Inside. After doing this calculation, it would be even more cost-effective to work for Lin Xiao. It's nothing to kneel down and beg for food. It's just making money, it's not shabby. Immediately, all the masters voted unanimously to agree to Lin Xiao's request. Lin Xiao showed a satisfied smile. He is not afraid of these guys playing tricks on him, because the first kill is announced to the whole server, and the first kill profit can also be viewed on the achievement list. It is absolutely impossible for these guys to lie about their accounts. Lin Xiao is not afraid that they will snatch the first kill of those high-level bosses, because those high-level bosses are not something these people can handle. What Lin Xiao gave them were outdated bosses that he didn't bother to fight, although the benefits were less. Half, but Lin Xiao can save a lot of time every day. For a master of Lin Xiao's level, time is much more important than the first kill of those outdated boss. In this way, with these wage earners working for him, the magic fairy stones that Lin Xiao owes Xin Yuka can be paid off in less than 2 or 3 days. Immediately, Lin Xiao said again, okay, since everyone is talking so happily, I will announce another news. Everyone's expressions lit up, what's the news? Lin Xiao said, I have a treasure map of the Night King in my hand, but it has not been unlocked yet. The great god told us this news, does he want to take us to fly together? With a great leader leading the team, the championship will be locked in advance for us. It's necessary. Other people's treasure maps can be transformed into champions by masters. If the master's own map is blocked by others, it's not like killing people and killing Buddhas by blocking them. Fan Huaruoxiu smiled quickly and said, I finally have the opportunity to fight side by side with you, the great master. This really fulfills my dream. I really want to find someone to celebrate with you tonight. Fan Huaruoxiu flirted with Lin Xiao, and even a blind man could see the teasing intention. Lin Xiao said calmly, no, you misunderstood, I have no intention of forming a team with anyone. Everyone's expressions suddenly froze. But you don't have to be disappointed, because I plan to give all the temporary gains from the event to other people participating in the event. Everyone's eyes widened. Fan Huaruoxiu said hurriedly, you are joking. Before he could finish the word laugh, Lin Xiao unlocked the treasure map of the Night King. System announcement. Player Jian Yu has unlocked the Night King treasure map. At 10 o'clock tomorrow night, all players can participate in the treasure map activity. In addition, player Jian Yu has chosen to give all the temporary gains of the activities to other players. I hope all warriors will participate in the treasure map tomorrow. During the event, we fought bravely to be first and won the first prize in one fell swoop. Fan Huoruoxiu swallowed the last word hard. Jian Yu was not kidding, he really chose to be the enemy of the whole world alone. Lin Xiao waved his hand, and all the master players left with shocked faces, but Fan Huoruoxiu stayed. The decision you made today is definitely the worst decision you have ever made in your life. You will definitely regret your decision today after tomorrow. Huoruoxiu is very excited. Lin Xiao's lips curled up. Oh? Really? Yes. Fan Huoruoxiu was even more excited. You wouldn't think that these people sitting here just now really represent the highest strength of Saint Kasha. Let me tell you something you don't want to hear. Maybe even you don't qualify to represent Santa Kasha. Lin Xiao said nonchalantly, of course I'm not so naive. In Eternal Journey, the most terrifying thing is not the popular players on the list, but the hermit players who never show up. This game is like a bottomless sea. Those floating on the sea are not necessarily the strongest, but those lurking at the bottom of the sea may be the real kings and the final winners. Fan Huoruoxiu was stunned. You know. Lin Xiao sneered, how could he not know who he was? In the Eternal Journey, there is a type of player who is selected as a hermit player by the system from the moment they log into the game. The sects they join are not true sects, but are secretly accepted by some mysterious NPCs, working for those mysterious NPCs. They seldom, if ever, participate in outside activities. Although they are rewarded with first kills for killing boss, they will never be on the rankings, nor will they refresh the world. Even their levels will not be made public before they step into the kingdom of God. They don't seem to belong to this game, but when they appear, they can often swell the faces of those great players. For example, in the previous life, when competing for admission to the Holy Light Academy, a group of unknown players from the Great Wall Night Watch Legion suddenly appeared on the orders of their Legion commander and took away all 500 admission qualifications. Several great players who usually cheated were so ashamed and angry that they spurted blood on the spot. There are countless examples like this. In a sense, Lin Xiao also belongs to this kind of player, because before he ascended to the throne of God, few people knew him, but he, an unknown person, finally reached a level that no mortal could achieve. Heights reached. Fan Huoruoxiu took a deep breath, since you know, then why do you still have to make this decision? If a super powerful hermit player joins tomorrow's event, and he gains the event gain attribute, you. Lin Xiao said proudly, if I lose, it means that I am not the strongest, and I deserve to lose. There is no excuse. The way Fan Huoruoxiu looked at Lin Xiao changed completely. Only then did she realize that the man in front of her could not only win, but also lose. Even a woman like Fan Huoruoxiu, who has seen the world, can't help but be moved by such a arrogant man. Thank you, Luffy, hey, King Shenga for the gift, thank you very much. Thank you, Xiao Forgive Green, for the inspiration capsule, the big boss is awesome, awesome. Thank you, Chen Xian, for the gift of reminder talisman, boss 6666 would also like to thank for sending the reminder charm. Your ID. Chapter 63. After Fan Huoruoxiu left, Lin Xiao was also ready to log off, but at this moment, he received news about Blood Red Lips. Master Jian Yu, are you free now? Let's have a good chat, okay. Lin Xiao sarcastically said, do you know why I blocked you after 10 minutes? Because I want to give you a piece of advice. I don't like others talking to me in a self-righteous tone. I have no control over my destiny, even if I am the king of heaven. I am not qualified to decide my victory or defeat. Who is your boss? I know, my boss also made a mistake in judgment because he was deceived by his subordinates. Please don't be angry, sir. Master, my boss just gave me new instructions. As long as you are willing, he can give you any compensation you want, including me. Afraid that Lin Xiao would not know her charm, she even took the initiative to reveal her identity. If you are a celebrity, I think you must have heard the name Sister Hong. Yes, it's me. I can make Yanhai. The fact that so many dignitaries in the city have fallen under my skirt is enough to prove my strength. Believe me, as long as you are willing to cooperate, you can go to my private room tonight and enjoy new services that celebrities have never enjoyed before. How about it? Lin Xiao sneered, and then replied, oh, I thought you were some kind of noble and talented woman, but it turns out you are a social butterfly who specializes in using your body to make friends with men. I swore before that your boss would never use you in exchange, but now I changed my mind so quickly. It seems that you are not very valuable in the eyes of your boss, so let me give you another piece of advice. I'm not interested in worthless things either. After saying that, Lin Xiao darkened his blood-red lips. Lin Xiao is not one of those so-called celebrities. He has his own principles when it comes to women. He is not interested in a woman who can get married as long as she has money. Crack! With a loud slap, Zhao Hongli slapped a bald middle-aged man down to the floor of the private room. Damn it! If you even got a simple damage calculation wrong, what's the use of raising you waists? The bald man who was slapped was Lao Zhou, who had previously vowed to use his wealth and life as a guarantee that Lin Xiao would not be able to clear the purgatory dungeon. Zhou Hongyu is the director of Zhao Hongli's studio, with an annual salary of tens of millions. He has never made any mistakes in his work before, so Zhao Hongli has always trusted him. However, this time, he suffered a big setback due to Jian Yu. Zhao Hongli was so angry that he punched and kicked Zhou Hongyu on the ground. Zhou Hongyu was already weak and could not withstand the punches. He vomited blood and passed out after a few blows. At this moment, Sister Hong on the sofa beside her spoke, "Mr. Zhao, just a Jian Yu, why do you need to get so angry?" Sister Hong was smoking a cigarette, blowing out a beautiful smoke ring from her bright red lips, and her sneer was full of hatred. She has been in the celebrity circle of the city for many years, and she has slept with countless big shots on the snowy peaks. Normally, so many high-ranking officials spend a lot of money on her, just to spend the night with her, but just now Lin Xiao looked down on her so much, how could she not guess? Just a sword feather. Zhao Hongli looked at Sister Hong and sneered, "Do you know how important this sword feather is to me?" Sister Hong sneered, "Mr. Zhao, why do you need to gain other people's ambition and destroy your own prestige? It's true that Jian Yu has some skills, but have you forgotten that you still have me and Yi Jianmeng? The two of us are playing a game. Although we are not famous here, we are all the lucky ones chosen to be hermit players." It turns out that this Sister Hong is actually a hermit player. No wonder there are so many beauties around Zhao Hongli, but she is the only one who values her so much. Zhao Hongli sneered, "Forget it, if it were before, I really thought you could become a blockbuster in the future, but after watching Jian Yu's video just now, I don't dare to have high hopes for you." Sister Hong said, "Yes, maybe we are not the strongest now, and there is a big gap with Jian Yu, but we will definitely be able to defeat him tomorrow." Zhao Hongli was stunned. "Why?" Sister Hong sneered, "Because Jian Yu just released the world's stupidest treasure map event in the game." Immediately, Sister Hong told Lin Xiao that he had chosen to be the enemy of the whole world. As soon as Zhao Hongli finished listening, his eyes immediately lit up. After thinking for a while, he kicked Zhou Hongyu in the chest, "Damn it, you're not dead yet. If you're not dead, why don't you get up and let me figure it out again?" Poor Zhou Hongyu was kicked awake by Zhao Hongli. He quickly wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and got up. "Mr. Zhao, what do you want from me?" Zhao Hongli snorted coldly, "Calculate for me tomorrow's Night King treasure map event. If I try my best to confront Jian Yu head-on, what is the chance of winning?" Zhou Hongyu was frightened. No, 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 Mr. Zhao, you should find someone else to settle the matter. Jian Yu's strength is completely unreasonable. I really can't calculate it accurately." Sister Hong sneered, "Is the calculation accurate? Before, you promised Mr. Zhao that Jian Yu would fail with your life and wealth. Now Mr. Zhao gives you the opportunity to do the calculation again. You don't know how to cherish it, so I want to keep you. It's of no use anymore." Zhou Hongyu was frightened. "Wait a minute, Sister Hong, don't worry, I'll forget it, I'll forget it." Zhou Hongyu opened the notebook on the side and quickly clicked on the keyboard. In less than 2 minutes, he had the results. Well, if Jian Yu really gave all the activity gains to other players, then it would be about 55. Zhao Hongli was furious. "Are you kidding me? I have invested all my wealth to build an invincible guild. Even if there are activity buffs, it can only compete with Jian Yu 55? No more." Zhou Hongyu said, 55 is already the best prediction. It can only be lower, not higher." Sister Hong snorted coldly, "Old Zhou, do you just look down on me and Yu Jianmeng so much? I advise you to think clearly before answering." Zhou Hongyu was frightened, thought for a while, and said, if Mr. Xiao is willing to use that magic weapon in advance, the chance of winning is 7. Sister Hong glared, and Zhou Hongyu quickly changed his words, 10%. As long as Mr. Xiao is willing to use the Andre medal in advance, Sister Hong will definitely win. Zhao Hongli hesitated. The Andre medal of merit mentioned by Zhou Hongyu could be said to be the biggest bargaining chip in his hand. It was a medal awarded to his Invincible Guild by Duke Andre himself. When his Invincible Guild worked for Duke Andre, it would continue to accumulate merit. The higher the merit, the more abnormal the attributes. But there is a drawback, that is, once a player holding a merit medal is killed by someone else, the attributes of the merit medal will be lost. At the same time, Prince Andre will also turn them into a group of embarrassing incompetent people. Expelled from their own territory, then they will no longer be able to enjoy the various generous rewards given by Prince Andre. Although the merit points in the merit medal are not yet full, Sister Hong vowed to find Lin Xiao to avenge today's humiliation, and Zhou Hongyu gave such a high chance of winning that Zhao Hongli was finally tempted. Okay. Since Jian Yu is so soft that he won't eat it, let's fight him hard tomorrow. I will personally go into battle tomorrow and we will fight him to the death. Sister Hong quickly threw herself into Zhao Hongli's arms happily. Don't worry, Mr. Zhao, I guarantee that as soon as the event ends tomorrow, Jian Yu will kneel in front of you, begging to join your team. Chapter 64. Sister Hong threw herself into Zhao Hongli's arms, with a hint of poisonous intent shooting out of the corner of her eyes. Jian Yu, just wait. No one who dares to despise me, Sister Hong, will have a good end. How arrogant you are today, I will make you humble tomorrow. The next day, Lin Xiao came to the restaurant where he had dinner with Xie Min last time. It was already 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Although there were still a few hours before he would be the enemy of the whole server, his appetite still good. After the waiter served the food, he started eating leisurely. At this moment, Nai Xiao, or to be more precise, her name should be Nai Xiaoqi, also came to the restaurant, and the two met unexpectedly. She didn't know Lin Xiao, and Lin Xiao didn't intend to say hello to her, but he just looked at Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao was stunned for a moment, but then he realized that what Nai Xiao was looking at was not him, but a young man at the table next to him. The young man was probably in his early 20s, and there was a bouquet of roses on the dining table. Nai Xiaoqi rolled her eyes, came to the table and sat down. Qin Hao, I've made it very clear to you. I'm not interested in you. What exactly do you like about me? Can't I change it? Qin Hao was not angry, but instead said with a sinister smile, Xiao Qi, I invited you here today just to tell you that I am no longer the clerk who was fired by your Nai family. In the past, Qin Hao was a small manager in Nai Xiao's father's company. Because he was attracted by Nai Xiao's beauty and wealth, he didn't want to struggle anymore. Therefore, he wanted to chase Nai Xiao and achieve success. However, Nai Xiao certainly looked down on this soft-hearted man. But he refused to give up and stalked Nai Xiao. Finally, Nai Xiao couldn't stand it anymore and fired him directly. Nai Xiao sneered, oh, really? Qin Hao said, yes, one sword enters the dream. This is my idea on the eternal journey. It turns out that he is the #1 warrior under Zhao Hongli, and he can enter the dream with one sword. Nai Xiao's eyes almost turned white. Sorry, I haven't heard of it. Qin Hao said proudly, don't worry, you will hear it tonight. Tonight I will participate in Jian Yu's Night King treasure map event, and then, I will step on his face and become the strongest king of the new generation of Saint Kasha. Lin Xiao on the side glanced at Qin Hao, with a sneer on his lips. Lin Xiao didn't say anything, just looked at him quietly and pretended. Nai Xiao's eyes were full of contempt. Humph, I think you are the king of strong words. Qin Hao was not angry at all. I think you should know what a hermit player is. Nai Xiao was stunned. Qin Hao said proudly, to tell you the truth, after I was fired by you, I thought I would never be able to make a comeback in this life, but God has eyes, and on the day the Eternal Journey server was launched, I won the SS lottery. Super talent, and was also arranged to enter Prince Andrei's palace, became his personal retainer, and became a hermit player. Now, I am the #1 warrior under Mr. Zhao of the Chongfeng Foundation. Mr. Zhao and Sister Hong have already decided that tonight our Invincible Guild will mobilize as a whole. Mr. Zhao will even go into battle himself. If Jian Yu loses tonight, he will definitely lose. It's decided. As to how badly you want him to lose, it all depends on our Sister Hong's mood. Lin Xiao now understood that it turned out that the boss behind the blood-red lipstick that he blocked was a major financier of the Chongfeng Foundation. Lin Xiao sneered in his heart, it seems that this social butterfly has a good temper. After Nai Xiao was surprised, he came back to his senses, humph, with all due respect, hermit players are not necessarily better than popular players. I am also a hermit player now, but I know very well that the distance between me and Jian Yu master is still the same. It's a difference between cloud and mud, which cannot be crossed. The last time Nai Xiao went to Lin Xiao and bought an apprenticeship sticker, and the unique tutor she found for herself turned her into a hermit player. That's why Nai Xiao never participated in any activities. At the same time, she also didn't on any list. This is not because she is not strong enough, but because hermit players have rules that they must abide by. Ha ha ha. Qin Hao let out a wild laugh like a villain, then I can only express my heartache to you. Yes, your strength can only be looked up to Jian Yu, but I didn't let him. Let me tell you, just yesterday, I made another great contribution. Prince Andrei promoted me to the SSS level. Tonight, our invincible guild will bring out the magic weapon from the bottom of the box to fight Jian Yu to the death. With one battle, Jian Yu's legend will surely end tonight. Nai Xiao asked nervously, what magic weapon? Qin Hao said proudly, Andrei Medal of Merit, puff. Lin Xiao, who was on the side, had just taken a sip of red wine. When he heard Qin Hao's words, he couldn't hold it back and burst into laughter on the spot, spraying all the red wine in his mouth on the table. Just now, Lin Xiao thought Qin Hao really had some great trump card. It took a long time, but it was just an Andrei Medal of Merit. Lin Xiao still has some impression of this Duke Andrei. In the Eternal Journey, his small territory is really only considered inferior. Compared with Mo Union's true Dragon City, it is far behind. Not to mention those big lords. This Prince Andrei is the kind of tease who won't give up until he is willing to die. He is a low-level little lord, but he still has a wishful thinking and wants to compete in the world. As a result, he was beaten to pieces in a fight with other lords. In the end, he gave away several of his wives. And the players who followed him and were his retainers were all demoted to slave players and would never be able to stand up again. It can only be said that a villain like Qin Hao has too low vision. He does not even think about how many peerless masters and high-ranking lords there are in the Holy Light continent. Even the kings and senate priests have not opened their mouths. A little Prince Andrei, what a fart. Do you really think that you can reach the pinnacle of life just by taking refuge with any NPC? Stop being funny. Qin Hao glared at Lin Xiao, are you laughing at me? Lin Xiao raised the corner of his mouth, yes. You. With Nai Xiao present, Qin Hao naturally couldn't lose face, are you also playing Eternal Journey? Lin Xiao's face became more sarcastic, let's play. Qin Hao snorted coldly, stop talking nonsense and report your ID directly. I will deal with Jian Yu tonight and I will deal with you directly. Lin Xiao said, I'm sorry, I'm also a hermit player, but I'm much more advanced than you. It's not convenient for me to reveal my ID, and it's not necessary, because I'm pretty sure that tonight you will be trampled by the sword feather and you will never be able to stand up again, little one. A person who succeeds is still a villain after all, and a villain like you should be stepped on for the rest of his life. Qin Hao sneered, okay. This is what you said. At this time tomorrow, we will meet here again. If you say that I am a villain, I will let you see clearly how arrogant the villain becomes after he succeeds. After saying that, Qin Hao stood up angrily and said to Nai Xiao, Xiaoqi, you should know very well that the future will be a world where games are king. I was indeed not worthy of you before, but now, it should be your Nai family who begs me. Got it. There is no shortage of women around me anymore, but as long as you come home with me tonight and behave well to me, I won't mind your contempt and humiliation of me at the beginning, and let you become one of my closest girlfriends. How about that? Nai Xiao smiled coldly and said to Lin Xiao, handsome guy, can I lend you a glass of wine? Lin Xiao said generously, please do. Nai Xiao picked up Lin Xiao's wine glass and splashed Qin Hao in the face, get out. Thanks to D3th Revenant, Ruthless, 944344729, Frozen Throne, 13102251, Gravel, 31970309, Looking Up at the Starry Sky, Wu, Zone Yuan Lu of the Explosive Sky Gang, 48783129, Kill Your Tyrant, Dark, for the gift, thank you all for making this book possible. Results. Chapter 65. The whole restaurant burst into laughter, and Qin Hao's face turned green with anger. Okay. Naizaoki, you asked for this. Just wait, after tonight, I will ask your father to clean you and send you to my bed respectfully. Then, I will listen carefully to you. Why is this superior young lady moaning under my crotch? After that, Qin Hao left angrily. Although Nai Xiao let out a fierce breath, he had to fall into deep worry now. She raised her head and glanced at Lin Xiao. Hello, my name is Nai Xiaoqi. Forget it, you should call me Nai Xiao. That is my ID in the game. You can add me as a friend at any time. You. Lin Xiao said in a deep voice, Nai Xiao, I will not add you as a friend. Lin Xiao's attitude was lukewarm, and Nai Xiao curled her lips aggrievedly. Apart from Jian Yu in the game, this man in front of her was the second man to be so indifferent to her. You just said that you are also a hermit player. Yes. Then you must be very strong, right? Just average. Then do you think that scumbag just now can defeat the sword feather master tonight? Lin Xiao asked back, then if Jian Yu loses, will you really go to his bed? Nai Xiao gritted his teeth and said, of course not, I would rather die. Lin Xiao raised the corners of his mouth, that's fine. After saying that, Lin Xiao stood up. It was almost time to log into the game and beat up those self-righteous cats and dogs. Nai Xiao came to her senses and said hurriedly, can you add me on WeChat? Lin Xiao didn't look back, no. Looking at Lin Xiao's proud back, Nai Xiao stamped her foot angrily, what's wrong with boys nowadays? Are beautiful women so unattractive in their eyes? Returning to the dilapidated rental house, Lin Xiao lay down on the sofa and logged into the game. After looking at the achievement list, several of the great masters on the list had their achievement points increased again, and they also took the initiative to hand over half of the first kill reward to the front desk of Fengxiang Tower, which was Xin Yuku. It is very dangerous to dare to be dishonest with Lin Xiao, and they do not dare to take this risk. Xin Yuku told Lin Xiao that Mo Union had been waiting at the Goddess Pavilion for a long time, and Lin Xiao immediately came to the Goddess Pavilion. As soon as Lin Xiao arrived, Mo Union said in a leisurely voice, you are too sharp and arrogant, but this is definitely not the behavior of a wise man. You know what I mean? Lin Xiao said nonchalantly, I know, you are saying that I shouldn't be an enemy of the whole world, right? Mo Union said solemnly, yes, I have never seen anyone like you. I am really curious. Do you not need to think about it when you make a decision? Lin Xiao smiled proudly, I thought about it very clearly, so I made this decision. If I don't have the courage to be the enemy of the whole world, how can I trample the whole world under my feet? Mo Union's heart skipped a beat. The way she looked at Lin Xiao changed completely. When she looked at those gamers, she would always look like a queen indifferent to ordinary people. Although Lin Xiao was just a gamer, for some reason, there is a kind of pride in him that regards the gods as ants. Lin Xiao added, I think third princess, you don't want to just be an ordinary little princess. Have you never considered the position of true Dragon City Lord? Mo Union's expression changed, how do you know I want to? As soon as the words came out, Mo Union suddenly realized that she was speechless and said quickly, nonsense. True Dragon City already has a prince, Lin Xiao said unceremoniously, that useless big brother of yours? Let's forget it. If you are really not interested in competing in the world, I suggest you don't come to my place in the future, because I don't care about women without ambition. Interest. Thanks to -380394343, Tianxia Sword Soul, Wei Wuxian, long for the gifts, thank you for your support. Thank you for the super gift package sent by me, who has the spirit of ABD, who has nothing, and can't stand it anymore, thank you very much, the boss is cheating. Chapter 66. Mo Union's heart felt like someone had hit her hard with a hammer. She stared at Lin Xiao for a long time, sighed, and made up her mind, yes, I do covet the position of City Lord. But do you know that fighting for the position of City Lord is a dead end? Lin Xiao raised his eyebrows, any road leading to the throne is a dead end. Those who dare not set foot on a dead end will never be able to touch the throne. Mo Union's face suddenly changed, a flash of light flashed in her pupils, the snow peaks on her chest rose and fell sharply, and her face changed several colors in succession. Finally, she made up her mind and said, okay. I, the princess, will embark on this road of death with you. If I really become the lord of true Dragon City in the future, then you will be my #1 hero. After saying that, she smiled sweetly, I never give benefits to others for free, but today, I can make an exception and give you a big gift for free. Lin Xiao said, what is it? Mo Union said, the shadow of the sword leaves its shape. With that said, Mo Union handed over a skill book. Sword shadow remains. After casting the skill, the main body can flash to a distance out of thin air and leave a void phantom in place. The void phantom can last for 3 seconds. During the duration, when the main body attacks the enemy, the void phantom will also cooperate. The main body attacks the enemy together. When the duration of the void phantom ends, the void phantom will automatically disappear. Before disappearing, the main body can choose to flash back to the void phantom. Mo Union said, the strength of the newcomers participating in the event this time will be doubled, and there will probably be some hermit masters who will come to disrupt the situation. With this great gift from me, you should be foolproof now. Lin Xiao raised the corner of his mouth, of course, don't worry, I will not let anyone lose money if they invest in me. After saying that, Lin Xiao left the goddess pavilion. He came to the teleporter and teleported directly to the outside of Nang Forest. Outside Nang Forest, all players participating in the event are ready. The entire periphery of Nang Forest has been sealed by a layer of barrier. Now they are waiting for Lin Xiao to come and unlock it and start the event. This event is to kill the rebels. The so-called rebels are the rebels of Nang City. Nang City is hidden in the Nang Forest. It is a city-state rich in various magical gems. A year ago, Zoom of Nang City the Duke launched a rebellion, killed the Lord of Nang City, and joined the White Walkers and the Underworld Warriors. The player's mission is to kill Duke Palm and all the White Walkers and the Underworld Warriors, rescue the imprisoned Prince of Nang City, and help him ascend to the throne and be restored to his throne. This event has set up a double championship award. The player who kills the most boss and has the highest points can get a championship reward. The player who rescues the prince can also get a championship reward. Although there is no distinction between the two champions, both are the winners of this event, but in line with the principle of encouraging newcomers, so if there is a double champion, then the newcomer who has never won the championship in any event before, or the champion who has won fewer championships will receive a special championship gift as a championship reward. This rule is extremely unfair to Lin Xiao, because he has won several event championships before, and no player in Santa Cassia can surpass him. If this time, he is tied for the championship with others, then the system will take care of the newcomer, and the reward for the newcomer's championship will be much better than the championship reward for him. Master Jian Yu, why haven't you started the event yet? Are you afraid of losing? Ha ha ha. A sorceress with an ID of blood-red lips walked slowly towards her with enchanting steps, and beside her was a swordsman with an ID of Yi Sword into a dream. Thanks to -38039343, Tianxia Sword Soul, Wei Wuxian, long for the gifts, thank you for your support. Thank you for the super gift package sent by me, who has the spirit of ABD, who has nothing, and can't bear it anymore. Thank you very much, the boss is cheating. Chapter 67. In addition to Yu Jianruman and Sister Hong, there is also a gunnery master with the ID of Wan Li Changjiun. The gunnery master wears a black windbreaker and holds a Graves double-barreled heavy cannon, just like a gangster godfather. He followed closely with dozens of his men. Their IDs are all marked with their guild name, Invincible. And Wan Li Changjiun is the president of the Invincible Guild. In reality, he is the boss of Yi Jianmeng and Hongji, Zhao Hongli. Their appearance caused quite a commotion at the scene. Although they were not well known, they immediately caught the attention of all the people present. Because 10,000 miles of cloud, blood-red fragrant lips, and one sword into dreams are all SSS level players. According to the statistics before the official launch of the server, there will be no more than 100 players who can reach the SSS level in the early stage when the server is launched. The only SSS level player recognized by Santa Cassia so far is Fan Huaruoxiu. Now there are 3 more at once, which makes people wonder, are SSS level players really that rare? It's so unreasonable that such a top player with such high talent and strength is not on the list of great masters. With blood-red lips, a sword in dreams, and clouds stretching thousands of miles, the 3 of them led the team to Lin Xiao, and the Melon Eaters were whispering. In the end, a few knowledgeable people finally learned about the game with them, and then they realized that there were many hermit masters in the eternal journey. This is a world of crouching tigers, hidden dragons, and the list cannot explain everything. Yi Jian Ru Meng squinted at Lin Xiao, his eyes extremely provocative, as if he could slap Lin Xiao to the ground if he made a move. I heard that you were rude to Sister Hong yesterday? I don't have a good temper. I'll give you a chance to apologize, so as not to make things too ugly later. Yi Jianmeng's tone was more provocative than his eyes. Lin Xiao said in a deep voice, "Who are you? How dare you act like a $25,000 person in front of me? Don't you understand the rules of pretending?" Yi Jian entered the dream and was stunned. "What do you mean?" Lin Xiao sneered, "Only those who win are qualified to show off. This is the rule of showing off. Before you win, you are an unknown trash. Trash should look like trash, understand?" Yi Jian entered the dream and became furious. "You." Wan Li Changjian coughed twice and interrupted Yi Jian's dream. "Master Jian Yu is right. Anyway, the outcome tonight has been decided. We might as well wait until we come out on top later. I think Master Jian Yu will naturally understand what attitude you should use when talking to us." The blood-red lips sneered, "The president is right, we might as well wait for the arrogant Jian Yu to lower his head before we have a good chat with him. By the way, Jian Yu, I won't give it to you like I did yesterday. You'd better be mentally prepared to offer such good conditions in such a low voice." After saying that, the blood-red lips slowly came closer to Lin Xiao's ear, and smiled evilly. "You look down on me as a man's plaything, right? It doesn't matter, you will lose later, I will let you understand that not every man is qualified to hold me down. Sister Hong, I am also capable of riding on my crotch those ignorant men." The evil aroma exhaled from Sister Hong's mouth made Lin Xiao feel nauseous. Lin Xiao raised his eyebrows. "Well, I'll wait." Originally, Lin Xiao was too lazy to pay attention to Sister Hong, so he blocked her without hesitation. But since she insisted on being so mean, Lin Xiao decided that after the event, he must go and meet this charming woman in person for a while, so that she can understand what kind of man Lin Xiao is. Immediately, Lin Xiao officially started the event. As soon as the treasure map was unlocked, the barrier blocking everyone disappeared. The players were so happy that they all rushed into the forest. "Damn it! All my attributes have increased by 50%. My movement speed increased by 30%, and my attack increased by 100%. Hey, the power of a single spell has been increased by 200%, and there is a monster with 2 moves, let's find out." As soon as they enter the forest, each player's attributes are improved to varying degrees, especially those with high talent. The higher the talent, the higher the improvement. There are at least 5 million players participating in the event this time. Lin Xiao will compete for the championship with these 5 million enhanced players on his own. You can imagine the difficulty. Everyone dreams of beating Lin Xiao once in an event, because if you can win once, you will have the chance to win many times until you completely throw Lin Xiao away. If you can't win once, then you will always be the only one who surpasses Lin Xiao. A fantasy now. The periphery of the forest is filled with enhanced mobs, as well as ordinary boss and bronze boss. For today's players, these boss are no longer difficult at all. The attributes have been strengthened, so the way to defeat the boss has become awesome. Wan Li Changjian, Sister Hong, entered the dream with a sword. The 3 of them formed a team, and saw Sister Hong turning on the voodoo diffuse, and speeding up in the forest. Wherever she passed, she would leave a patch of voodoo along the way, and she would be affected. The wild monsters attacked by voodoo were chased by boss. Because of the enhanced activity attributes, those wild monsters could not withstand the damage caused by voodoo along the way. They were all GG after running a few steps. In the end, there were only 4 ordinary boss and 1 bronze boss left, which were led to a slope by Sister Hong. Thousands of poisons corrode the heart. A ball of miserable blue skeleton poisonous mist instantly swallowed up the 5 boss. The proud sword soars. A sword fell from the sky and landed in the middle of the boss, followed by a big sword whizzing down. Boom! The big sword made the surrounding air tremble. Sword dance all over the world. Taking advantage of the cover of the poisonous fog, Yi Jiangguomeng continued to attack fiercely. And Wan Li Changjian in the distance also let out a proud snort, and then pulled the trigger. Blessing of the Holy Spear. A rain of bullets swept across. The damage of the gunner's master is extremely high, and the best Krypton Gold player like Wan Li Changjian has top-notch luxurious equipment, and he is even specially equipped with the most suitable ammunition for each skill. Blessing of the Holy Spear is equipped with GT1 Golden Flame bullets, and Bullet Sweep is equipped with GT9 Silver Piercing bullets. Suitable ammunition can maximize the damage of the skill. Although it is extremely expensive, I will shoot it here. The price may be more expensive than firing a shot in a KTV private room, but Wan Li Changjian doesn't care. Under the violent attack of the powerful skills of the three people, the four ordinary bosses were quickly killed on the spot, and the remaining bronze boss with residual health naturally could not last long in the face of the three people's attack. The feat of the three of them teaming up to defeat 5 bosses shocked the crowds around them. Now they finally saw how terrifying the hermit player was. Sister Hong raised her eyes and saw that Lin Xiao was passing by. She said proudly, "Hey, why did the Jian Yu master come so late? I wonder if the few of us can become the Jian Yu master with our ugly tricks just now." The Dharma Eye. Everyone was waiting for Lin Xiao's comment, but Lin Xiao smiled coldly, "It's ugly, I can't get in, thank you." Thanks to -3377291, Luan Zilyuan, I can't stand it, Xing Chuan, big fish is not delicious, free and easy, 87486210, Tianxia, I don't know my way home for the big gift package. Special thanks to, Xing Chuan, the boss for the super gift big gift package. In order to thank you all for your support, I decided to continue vomiting blood and update it later. Chapter 68. The melon-eating crowd began to whisper. No, you can't catch his eye even with such a level of skill. Although Master Jian Yu is very cheating, he may be a little too arrogant this time. Of course Jian Yu knows that these new masters have cheated, but he cannot admit it. No old king will willingly admit the strength of the new king. Do you understand? No way, Jian Yu is really going to be replaced this time. I'm afraid yes, he completely killed himself this time. If he didn't give the buff effect to others, then he could continue to stand out, but unfortunately, he didn't expect that there would be a group of hermit players coming this time. There are only 0 and countless failures. This time his undefeated myth has been broken. Then more masters will be able to defeat him in the future, and his era will officially end. Wan Li Changjiun's voice suddenly became cold, Jian Yu, you must not be so crazy that there is no limit to your madness. My patience has its limits. Even if a BMW can travel thousands of miles a day, if it cannot be controlled by me, it will not be controlled by me. Then I can be ruthless and kill it. Lin Xiao said coldly, just because I said this to you, I will definitely kill you after the event. Now stare at the standings and don't blink. After saying that, Lin Xiao strode away. In the event standings, Wan Li Changjiun and the others just killed 4 ordinary bosses and 1 bronze boss, and their points rose to 14. They are temporarily tied with Fan Huaruoxiu. Not only them, Fan Huaruoxiu also came out with the best this time, because it is clear that perhaps this is the closest she has ever come to winning against Lin Xiao. If she misses this time, she may be hopeless in this life. There is a falling cherry blossom river in Nank Forest. The river is filled with fallen cherry blossoms on both sides of the river, and the scenery is picturesque. However, this fairyland-like river is actually a river of life and death. Before, they encountered some sporadic small bosses in the periphery, and Lin Xiao didn't even bother to take action. But on the other side of the river, there is the main force of the mutated Ghost Warriors Legion. These main forces have established more than 100 checkpoints on the 4 roads leading to Nang City, east, west, north, and south. Only through the checkpoints can one enter Nang City. There is no other way to go. Especially the north road chosen by Lin Xiao has the most checkpoints, with as many as 50, accounting for almost half of all checkpoints. Moreover, each checkpoint is guarded by more than 4 silver bosses. They face 4 silver bosses at a time, and they have to kill 50 such checkpoints in a row. The players who came to the river all said they couldn't afford to offend him. When Wan Li Changjiun saw this situation, he immediately turned around and left. He has received news that the East Road has the fewest checkpoints, only 12, so the number of players detoring to the East Road is also the largest. Even Fan Huaruoxiu rushed from the South Road. With so many people working together to clear the East Road, it will definitely be the first road to be opened. As long as his team can grab a few more boss heads in the melee, the championship position in the standings will basically be locked in by them. Even Wan Li Changjiun wisely chose to take a detour, not to mention other players. Whoever takes this deceptive dead end will be stupid. Jian Yu, everyone is gone, who are you still pretending to show? Hey, don't say I look down on you. You don't dare to walk on this road, I said so. Yi Jian Ru Meng deliberately sarcastically said, if you don't accept it, let's make a bet. I bet you don't dare to take this road. Whoever loses will lick his shoes, how about it? Lin Xiao said in a deep voice, it's a deal. Yi Jian Ru Meng was startled for a moment. Originally, he just wanted to ridicule Lin Xiao, but he didn't expect that Lin Xiao actually agreed to make a bet with him. After coming back to his senses, Yi Jian entered the dream and said immediately, "Okay. It's a deal. Jian Yu, you asked for this. When I consecrate you to the gods tonight, I will make you never stand up again." After saying the harsh words, he caught up with Wan Li Changjian and Sister Hong with a sword in his dream. Humph, I didn't expect Jian Yu to be so brainless. He would be fooled by my random tricks. Mr. Zhao, we can sit back and relax now. Wan Li Changjian laughed wildly, "Ha ha ha, very good, Qin Hao, you have made a great contribution today. Don't worry, I will definitely not let you down. You said you want the eldest daughter of the Nai family, right? No problem. As soon as the waiting party is over, I will call Nai Feng and ask him to clean his daughter and send it to your bed. We brothers will enjoy the blessing together. I will take the first shot, no objections." Yi Jian entered the dream and was stunned. Although he was annoyed in his heart, he could only smile and said, No objection, it should be, it should be." Soon, they came to the east road. Fan Huoruoxiu had already led his team to attack. There were 6 silver bosses at the first checkpoint to defend together. Fan Huoruoxiu's team was unable to attack for a long time and paid a heavy price. When other individual players saw this, they didn't even dare to join. Lin Xiao was trapped in a bet, so there was nothing to worry about. Wan Li Changjian had made up his mind to reap the benefits, so he was not in a hurry and refused to help. For a time, the scene fell into anxiety. On the North Road, when all the players left, Lin Xiao resolutely crossed the Luying River. The first checkpoint has 4 silver boss-linked defenses, Karu the Butcher, Violent Tiger Eviscerating, B Demon Eye Gouging, and Heart-Searing Lion. It can be seen from their names how cruel they are. Lin Xiao glanced at their attributes and found that they were all ordinary silver bosses with only about 100,000 HP and average defense and damage. Compared with Cassiopeia is completely incomparable, but if the 4 of them are linked together, the difficulty will be different. However, Lin Xiao didn't care and took action directly. Blade Assault. Whoosh! Lin Xiao's figure flashed forward and struck Butcher Kalu directly. HP-8343. These ordinary silver boss not only do average damage, but also have poor defense. Today's Lin Xiao has the Holy Dragon skin bonus, and the first hit will directly cause damage and explosion. Blade Assault! Blade Assault! Blade Assault! Because the skin bonus attack speed increased by 100%, Lin Xiao's speed was so fast that it was suffocating. Before the 4 bosses even had time to react, Lin Xiao had already completed 1 through 4. Skyfire Crazy Dragon. Cross Evil Moon Slash. Unique skins create dazzling and exclusive special effects. The super fast attack speed allowed Lin Xiao to use 2 skills in a row, and the 4 bosses barely rushed over. HP-10200. HP-91,000. HP-14300. Before even touching a piece of Lin Xiao's clothes, the 4 bosses were already down to half health, and this did not include the subsequent damage from the Skyfire Dragon. Fearless Wind Wall. Face the Blast. All 4 bosses were blocked by the wind wall, and Lin Xiao cast Yi Xuan through the wall. Skills simplified by the skin can complete critical strikes instantly. HP-14900. The power of the attack became stronger and stronger, and Lin Xiao followed up with the Swift Wind and Shadow Kill in seconds. HP-15600. Flying Chop. 100 Steps Flying Sword. Lin Xiao turned into a flying sword and flew away. Is it unfair for 3 SSS players to attack 5 mini-bosses? I'm sorry, Lin Xiao really didn't pretend, this kind of embarrassment trick really doesn't catch his eye. Thank you 10438355-273080886 Sang Mo is not lost anymore, Nazai refuted me, scolded me, Chaos Reincarnation, Wuxian, sent a big gift package, thank you very much, I will continue to update in the evening, new books are not easy, please support me, thank you all again. Chapter 69. On the East Front, Fan Huoruoxiu's team is still struggling to support themselves. Azure Dragon cuts tail. Flowers like snow flashed behind a powerful Ghost King and slashed out a long series of sword shadows. When the other bosses rushed over to support her, she immediately jumped into the air, whirled around, and swung large kunao darts out of her hands. Qingtian Luoshui. Although Fan Huoruoxiu's skills are not as good as Lin Xiao's talent, they are still among the best. If a beautiful woman can perform such skills, the audience will naturally not be stingy with their applause. The people eating melons in the distance cheered, but Fan Huoruoxiu couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed in her heart. This group of shameless people just hide in the back and have S*X for nothing, and no one will come up to help. When the boss loses health later, they might swarm up to get the first kill. However, Fan Huoruoxiu couldn't help it. If she didn't move, there would really be no one to clear the checkpoint. Fan Huoruoxiu is not a fool. She has been prepared for it. She has arranged a lot of people to mix in the crowd. No matter which BD comes to grab the first kill later, he will do it with his sword. Wan Li Changjiun, Sister Hong and Yi Jianmeng are all calm and relaxed. In their hearts, today's event has completely fallen into their control. Yi Jianmeng sneered, Jian Yu has never failed since the launch of the server. Today we stepped on him. Do you think he won't be used to it? Sister Hong sneered, it doesn't matter if you're not used to it. If you step on it a few times, he will naturally get used to it. Wan Li Changjiun laughed loudly, it seems that I think too highly of Jian Yu. Facts have proved that things went smoother than we expected. As soon as Wan Li Changjiun finished speaking, 4 system announcements appeared at the same time. System announcement. Congratulations to player Jian Yu for successfully killing Butcher Karu. Obtaining the first kill of Butcher Karu. Congratulations to player Jian Yu for successfully killing the disemboweling Violent Tiger. Obtained the first kill of the disemboweling Violent Tiger. Congratulations to player Jian Yu for successfully killing the Gouged-Eyed Bee Demon. Obtained the first kill of the Gouged-Eyed Bee Demon. Congratulations to player Jian Yu for successfully killing the Heart-Splitting Lion. He got the first kill of the Heart-Splitting Lion. Although Lin Xiao has achieved 5 kills before, there is also a time interval between 5 kills. This time, Lin Xiao's 4 kill announcements are 4 consecutive kills at the same time. Although everyone knew what this meant, their heads were stunned by the wave of 4 consecutive announcements. It took a long time before they dared to accept the fact that Lin Xiao single-handedly defeated 4 silver bosses at the same time. Wan Li Changjiun licked his dry lips, slapped himself hard, and forced himself to come back to his senses. Why the hell are you still standing there? Why don't you go up and help? Lin Xiao can definitely defeat the entire North Road checkpoint by himself. Wan Li Changjiun has no doubt about this. If he doesn't go up to help Fan Huoruoxiu now, then Lin Xiao will definitely enter Nang City before them. Got it. Sister Hong and Yu Jianmeng were also panicked. When Wan Li Changjiun roared like this, they immediately rushed forward with their men. However, as soon as they rushed to the checkpoint, another 5-shot system announcement about Jian Yu spread throughout the server. Seamless pentakill? They're all FG silver bosses. Then if you want to steal his pentakill ring in the future, don't you have to kill the golden boss 5 times? God, please don't play like this. Even if we can never surpass it, please give us a little hope. Yi Jianmeng had just fought against the boss. When he saw this 5-cent message, he was so angry that he slipped and pointed at the boss's meteor hammer with a fierce look on his face. Boss blood volume -0. I was knocked unconscious on the spot with a sword in my dream, and then was beaten to death by 5 bosses on the spot. In the chat group of Great Masters, a Great Master whose ID is Jianxian also protested, Master. Didn't you agree that we will be given the opportunity to get the Master's reward every day in the future? Now you got 900 first kill points in less than 5 minutes, what does this mean? Lin Xiao replied, I am too strong, do you blame me? It's almost 12 o'clock. I'll update first, grab a sofa, and thank the big guys who gave tips one by one later. Big guys, I love you. Chapter 70. Lin Xiao's words made all the great gods in the group of great gods speechless. Although he was very depressed, if he thought about it carefully, there was indeed nothing wrong with Lin Xiao's words. Lin Xiao has given them the opportunity to gain activity, gain attributes. However, none of them can fight. Can you blame Lin Xiao? Now is the event period. Lin Xiao wants to compete with all players for the championship. Of course he wants to be blocked by others and killed by God. What obligation does he have to take into account the interests of these so-called great gods? In short, in esports, being a rookie is the original sin. All rules are set by the master. As a rookie, you have only one choice, shut up and obey. After Yi Jian entered the dream, he quickly returned to the city, and then rushed back to the battlefield without stopping. Along the way, the system announcements of Lin Xiao's 4 kills and 5 kills were constantly refreshed. On the battlefield on the East Road, an announcement for the boss's first kill occasionally came out. Before he could stop on the public screen for a while, he was mercilessly squeezed out by Lin Xiao's 4 and 5 consecutive kills. When Lin Xiao got another 4 kills in a row, his level finally reached level 19. 2 days ago, when his Fengxiang building opened, more than 2,000 pieces of top-quality equipment were sold out. Today, after going all the way, his inventory suddenly accumulated to thousands of pieces. He is not worried that his equipment will depreciate due to too much, because compared to Santa Cassia, which has tens of millions of players, this equipment is still far from enough. Even the top rich have to grab it quickly enough to get it. Might get it. In the blink of an eye, Lin Xiao's activity points have reached 11,000, which means that he has killed more than 100 silver bosses. In addition to equipment, Lin Xiao has also obtained more than 1,000 magic fairy stones. Now even if there are no offerings from those great gods, Lin Xiao also had enough to pay off his debts, and even had 500 or 600 more pills. The North Battle Road, which all players thought was only used by sand coins, has completely become his way to make money. As for the Eastern Battle Route, which was considered the best route to take, at this time, under the tactics of countless players, the 5th checkpoint was finally conquered. Yu Jianmeng finally returned to the battlefield, but what greeted him was Wanli Changjiun's cold threat: "You have a hammer-like face, your operation is really one of a kind. If I remember correctly, it was you who followed me before." Jian Yu bets that he should stay in the North Road. Yi Jianmeng was frightened and said quickly, "Mr. Zhao, you can't blame me for this. I didn't know that Sword Feather could be so powerful and treat the boss as a wild monster." Wanli Changjiun snorted coldly, "Okay, I'm always the best at talking. I'll give you a chance to make amends. Tell me how we should win now. If you can't tell me, I'll give you get all your girlfriends together and ask them to accompany you to Thailand for a minor surgery, you know what I mean." Going to Thailand for surgery? He was so frightened that his crotch tightened. When he was a clerk, no woman liked him. So after he became a villain, he frantically sought revenge on women and followed an octopus. It's like riding on 8 boats. The harsh words Zhao Hongli said were never a joke. If he couldn't help Zhao Hongli win this competition today, then Zhao Hongli would definitely send him to Thailand to become a transvestite. Sister Hong couldn't help but smile. But Zhao Hongli immediately turned to her, "Don't gloat about your misfortune. It was you who insisted on fighting Jian Yu. If I lose today, prepare to stand on the streets of the Philippines." Sister Hong was so frightened that her face turned pale and she was about to cry. She stabbed her sword into her dream and gritted her teeth, "There is only one way now." Zhao Hongli said, "Say." A sword entered the dream and said, "Use Prince Andrei's medal in advance." Zhao Hongli frowned, "Use it in advance? Prince Andrei's medal can only be used once a day, and the time limit is only half an hour. Use it now. What will you use when you enter Nang City later?" Yi Jian entered the dream and said, "Half an hour is almost enough. Now it is absolutely impossible to win against Jian Yu in the standings. We only have to rush to Nang City as soon as possible, find the imprisoned prince of Nang City, and help him kill the rebels and inherit the throne, then we can win another championship. Moreover, because we have never won the championship, what we get is a special super championship reward, which is far better than Jian Yu's ordinary championship reward. After all, we still win." Sister Hong on the side also said quickly, "Yes, Mr. Zhao, we only have 6 checkpoints now. We can definitely advance to Nang City before Jian Yu. Although we can't win all of them, we can win more than half of Jian Yu. This is already from the beginning. A miracle that no one has ever created before." Yi Jian Ru Meng urged, "Mr. Zhao, please stop hesitating. Jian Yu's points now exceed 12,000. Zhao Hongli's heart suddenly tightened. Jian Yu's speed was still accelerating. He knew without thinking that he must have upgraded again. As hermit masters who are making their debut for the first time and are ready to soar to the sky, they are only at level 14. Thinking about it, they are quite ashamed. The situation no longer allowed Zhao Hongli to hesitate any longer, so Zhao Hongli gritted his teeth and said, "Listen to me, let's talk it over. But if you can't do it just by talking, don't blame me for being rude. I just told you the beautiful future we have arranged must be true to our word." Yi Jian Ru Meng and Sister Hong nodded in fright. They had no way out now. They had to win Jian Yu, or life would be worse than death. Zhao Hongli immediately opened the order of Prince Andrei. Prince Andrei medal, shared only by guild members, it can increase the potential of all nearby guild members. It can only be used once per day and lasts for 30 minutes. When the holder of the public medal dies, the beneficial effect of the public medal will end early. When the Duke Andrei medal is opened, all the invincible guild players within 100 meters of Zhao Hongli will have a special medal icon under the attribute bar above their heads, which means that they have all enjoyed the blessings of the Duke medal. They cannot leave Zhao Hongli 100 meters away, otherwise, the buff effect will disappear automatically. The gain effect of Prince Andrei's medal is not a unified standard gain, but an individual abnormal gain based on each player's professional potential. For example, for a wild player, the HP and defense value will be increased several times independently, while all other attributes will remain unchanged, making it a super tank. As for nanny players, after enjoying the buff effect, the shield they add to their teammates can reach 100% of their health points. With just one sip of milk, they can instantly revive their remaining teammates. As for the various C positions, their output increased dramatically, making them abnormal output machines. Sure enough, the Invincible Guild, which received the medal buff, began to kill everyone. Dozens of people cooperated together, and soon they broke through a checkpoint. Compared with Jian Yu, this speed is still a bit far behind, but it still looks a bit weird. However, the validity of Prince Andrei's medal is only half an hour, leaving them little time. The author has something to say, thanks to Cool Caterpillar, Sui, 224703552, Liang Xiao Han, Panda, System, more than 10 years, 34564706, 13982292, 35312408 for the gifts. I work hard to grab the sofa every day just to thank the big guys for cheating. Chapter 71. After Lin Xiao upgraded, his charging speed became more and more abnormal. When he rushed to the last checkpoint, the corner of his mouth raised a meaningful arc blade assault. Blade assault! Blade assault! Lin Xiao passed through the checkpoint directly. The holy light is coming. The holy light blinded all pursuers. Lin Xiao took advantage of the fact that all his pursuers were blinded and flew away with a flying sword. He even received a flash and hid behind the mountain wall as soon as he landed. This is the last checkpoint of the North Road team. It has the most bosses and is also the most powerful. However, if Lin Xiao wants to defeat it, he can still defeat it, but he does not intend to do so. Because, his points have reached 22,000, and the championship of the standings has been locked in advance by him. These last few bosses no longer matter to him. In addition, he didn't want to be PRST for nothing. How could he let others go in vain for the bloody path he had fought so hard for? Sure enough, a group of PRST who had been secretly following Lin Xiao were blocked by the last checkpoint and fell into a dilemma. Everyone who participated in the event was Lin Xiao's enemy, so Lin Xiao would not be stupid enough to help his enemies. Perhaps the strength of these people is far different from Lin Xiao, but Lin Xiao will never leave any hidden danger for himself. Because, in his last life, he had a PRST for nothing from a great player. He followed that great player and successfully passed all the levels. In the end, he found the ultimate boss before that great player, and finally won the championship. Lin Xiao would never suffer the same losses as others. After passing the final checkpoint, Lin Xiao quickly sneaked into Nang City. 5 minutes later, on the East Road, the Invincible Guild finally cleared the last checkpoint on the East Road. System announcement. All the East Battle Roads have been opened, and all players can pass through the East Battle Roads and head to Nang City. Seeing the crowds of people rushing towards Nang City in high spirits, Wan Li Changjiun gritted his teeth angrily, "A bunch of dead mother's whores for free, I guess my mother was given birth to these cubs after being paid for free." Sister Hong smiled and said, "Mr. Zhao, don't be angry. Now Jian Yu has been stuck at the last checkpoint on the North Road. We have already won. These bastards are nothing to be afraid of." Wan Li Changjiun was stunned, and then laughed wildly, "That's right. Jian Yu's points have not increased for several minutes, and the North Road checkpoint has not been cleared. He must be stuck, ha ha ha, although Jian Yu is fierce, after all still can't beat 9, I have nothing to worry about." Yi Jianmeng reminded, "Mr. Zhao, we only have 15 minutes left for the blessing of Prince Andrei's medal. The traitor Duke Zimu is a quasi-golden boss. Although Jian Yu has been completely eliminated, it's time to hurry up too." Wan Li Changjiun was immediately filled with pride. "Quasi-golden boss, has anyone tried it?" Everyone shook their heads. Wan Li Changyun said, then it will happen today. Lin Xiao came to Nang City and immediately opened the divine eye of the void. The entire Nang City was now the territory of the White Walker army. The people of Nang City were all living a difficult life under the clutches of the White Walker army. In Nang City, the top elites of the White Walkers and underworld warriors are stationed. Even the patrolling guards in the city are led by the Silver Boss, and the slightly more important places are all guarded by the hidden Silver Boss. If players can barely defeat the Silver Boss alone through the crowd tactics, then the hidden boss will really be killed by whoever encounters it. Fan Huoruoxiu led the team to sneak into the judgment court, but they encountered a hidden boss. As soon as they fought, the hidden boss was identified with an attribute skill that was even more perverted than Kashapeo Flame Shock. A ball of flame exploded above Fan Huoruoxiu's head, and the flames automatically vibrated and spread towards the teammates around her, and the concussion still vibrated back and forth. The more teammates there are, the higher the concussion damage. With just one move, all of Fan Huoruoxiu's elite men were lost. If Fan Huoruoxiu hadn't reacted quickly enough and escaped in time, even she would have been lying at the feet of the boss, a dead corpse. Now she finally understood what a great feat it was for Lin Xiao to kill Kashapeo alone. Soon, everyone rushed towards the judgment court, because according to the event introduction, the judgment court is the place where prisoners are tried. There is an underground prison underground under the judgment court. The prince of Nang City was probably imprisoned by Duke Zimu. There. At this time, Duke Zimu was having fun in the palace next to the judgment court. It was a perfect opportunity to rescue the prince unexpectedly. However, it is not easy to break through the heavy guards of the judgment court and enter the underground prison. All the boss here are hidden boss, and they are all linked together in groups of 10. Fighting one is a narrow escape, let alone fighting 10 at once. Although countless players went to die one after another, no one could successfully reach the entrance of the dungeon. Wan Li Changyun gritted his teeth and said, let's go. The palace guards are weak. Let's go directly to the palace to find Duke Zimu for a decisive battle. Kill Duke Zimu and get the first kill reward. Then kill these hidden bosses. It's guaranteed to be like killing a dog. Yi Jian Gumeng said flatly, absolutely not. Wan Li Changyun said, why? Yi Jian entered the dream and said, our mission is to rescue the prince, not to mention whether we can kill a quasi-gold boss, even if we can, if we kill Duke Zimu by then, these White Walkers will be leaderless and disperse, escape from the city, then these PRST can go directly into the dungeon to rescue the prince, and then our pants will be ripped apart by whores. Wan Li Changyun was shocked, yes, you have thought carefully, and rescuing the prince is the most important thing. Yi Jian entered the dream and said, I have a way. We don't fight the boss. We send a few wild men in front to clear the way and charge wildly. The nanny will add blood and shields to them from behind. We have the blessing of Andre's meritorious service. I believe we can still carry it. How about we just carry it and rush down to the dungeon like this? Ha ha ha. You are such a FG talent. Just do as you say. When the event is over, the eldest lady of the Nai family will be yours, and you will take the first shot. Thank you, Mr. Zhao. So, they selected a few super savages, drove all the way to attract hatred, and the others hitched a ride behind, and rushed into the underground prison. Although they also paid the price of more than a dozen of their men, in the end, they also finally managed to break into the dungeon. On the other end, Lin Xiao dodged into the palace next to the arbitration court. The guards in the palace were indeed much weaker than those in the arbitration court. They were all ordinary silver bosses. It was naturally impossible to stop Lin Xiao with these melon skins. Soon, Lin Xiao made his way to the harem, which was Duke Zimu's joyful place. Before Lin Xiao officially stepped in, he heard bursts of the most primitive, debauched, and most ecstatic lovemaking between men and women. Call. Thank you 35312408-93160057 for the big gift package, thank you Guardian for the inspiration capsule. Now I am bursting with inspiration, I will continue to add more in the evening. Chapter 72. Lin Xiao stepped into the harem and saw a beautiful garden in front of him. However, when he saw the scene unfolding in the garden, he felt his mind wandering and a wave of heat surged through his body. There was a clear river in the middle of the garden. Lin Xiao was standing at the head of the bridge. Under the cherry blossom tree on the other side of the bridge, there was a large bed covered with soft pink feather quilts. The bed was surrounded by cherry blossoms falling in the wind. A man in single clothes is lying comfortably on the bed. There are many beauties around him. Those beauties are wearing all kinds of revealing gauze clothes. They all have curly black and shiny hair, which is like a waterfall from round to white. Her shoulders fell on her chest, and a pair of crystal clear and perfect snow peaks were faintly visible. The beauties surrounded the man, some fed him grapes, some fed him wine, and some performed a soul-stirring song and dance for him. In the passionate and charming music, the beauties swayed to their heart's content. In order to attract men's attention, some beauties even took off their remaining hazy gauze, and they were combined in pairs, with their bodies closely fitting together and rubbing each other. Swinging presents the most mysterious, tempting and shameful scene of human beings. Lin Xiao suddenly felt short of breath. Although he had seen many ridiculous and lewd NPCs and bosses, this was the first time he had seen such a playful man like the man in front of him. That man was naturally Lin Xiao's target, Duke Zoom. Seeing Lin Xiao coming, Duke Zoom didn't care at all. He was still intoxicated in his own joy and didn't take this uninvited guest seriously at all. When he saw the beauties stopped, he said unhappily, "Don't worry about him, keep playing music and keep dancing." So, the joy continues. It wasn't until Lin Xiao showed the Catalina sword in his hand that Duke Palm finally moved his eyes away from the beauty's chest and fell on Lin Xiao again. Duke Palm sneered, "I am very curious as to why everyone has gone to the judgment court, but you have to come here to disturb my enjoyment." Lin Xiao said in a deep voice, "If the prince was really in the dungeon of the judgment court and so many people besieged the judgment court, you should have gone to support it long ago. However, you never showed up. Obviously you don't care about the judgment court. In this case, then of course, the prince cannot be in the dungeon of the judgment court. This game really needs to be played with your brains. The mission prompts that the prince may be imprisoned in the dungeon, but please note that the mission prompts only say that it is possible. If you take it seriously, you will lose." It was the first time for other players to come into contact with such a perfect and real game, so naturally they didn't understand this. But Lin Xiao was not a newcomer, so how could such a little trick possibly deceive him? Ha ha ha! Duke Zoom laughed loudly, "I thought everyone here was a bunch of idiots, but I didn't expect there was one smart person. It's a pity." The smile on Duke Palm's face stopped instantly. "I don't like smart people." As soon as he finished speaking, Duke Palm jumped up from the bed, flipped in the air, and emitted a circle of dazzling light. He originally only wore a single piece of clothing, but after landing, he put on strong armor. At the same time, his hands there is also a regicide blade on it. Duke Palm, a cruel and lewd regicide. Level 19 Grade Quasi Gold HP 205000 Physical Defense 7500 Legal Defense, 8900 Attack Power 6500 Skills, Returning Sword, Blade Soul Locking, 10,000 Swords returning to 1. Homing Sword, shoots countless sharp swords in a fan-shaped area ahead. Enemies stabbed by the swords will suffer huge damage and be decelerated by 90%. After the blades fly to the farthest distance, they will return to their nest and be turned back. The enemy stabbed again by the sharp blade will suffer 1.5 times the damage and will be imprisoned for 2 seconds. Sword Shadow Soul Locking, turn into the sword soul and fly towards the enemy. The enemy will be locked by the sword soul. No matter what, the enemy cannot escape this attack. 10,000 swords return to 1, the sharp sword in the hand bursts out and explodes with countless sword rays in all directions. The enemy stabbed by the sword rays will suffer excessive real damage. At the same time, Duke Palm will enter a state of invisibility for 3 seconds. Duke Palm can during the period of invisibility, launch a surprise attack on the enemy. When launching a surprise attack, Duke Palm will gain the attribute of 10,000 swords, and all the exploding sword light will follow Duke Palm to give the enemy a fatal blow. As expected of a quasi-golden boss, one with strong basic attributes, its blood volume soared to 200,000, and its defense and attack were completely unreasonable. The skills are even more perverted. The first homing sword can be tolerated. The second sword Shadow Soul Locking is still locked for attack. As long as it is locked, there is no way to escape. What is even more speechless is Wanjian Gi. He can actually stealth and sneak attack. Usually, players compete in operations to show off the boss, but this Duke of Palm can completely show off the players in turn. This is also the reason why the Invincible Guild has activity buffs and the blessing of the Andre medal, but it doesn't dare to touch Duke Palm easily. It's really uncertain. Duke Palm raised the regicide blade in his hand and pointed it at the naked beauties around him one by one. These women are the former king's favorite women. This palace is the former king's favorite palace. The crown on my head is the former king's favorite crown. All of this is done by me using the former king's head. In exchange for them, if you want to take them away now, you have to trade them with your head. Lin Xiao smiled and said, I'm sorry, my head is more precious than any god. It's not cost-effective to exchange for this little thing. It's quite cost-effective to exchange it for your head. Duke Palm was furious, seeking death. As soon as he finished speaking, Duke Palm thrust out his sword. Whoosh! 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 Countless sharp blades shot out in a fan shape. The Sword of Homecoming. Lin Xiao swept out a wall of wind without hesitation. Skyfire Crazy Dragon. Cross Evil Moon Slash. All the sharp blades were blocked by the wind wall, and Lin Xiao's superfast attack speed unleashed two skills in an instant. The Skyfire Crazy Dragon passed through. HP 5760. Zhanyu also hit the target accurately. HP 6245. HP 8050. Blast of Wind and Shadow Slash. Although Lin Xiao's attack speed was super fast, Lin Xiao still failed in this attack. When the strong wind flew in front of Duke Zoom's figure suddenly turned into a black sword shadow and flew towards Lin Xiao quickly. The sword shadow locks the soul. Although the wind wall can block all physical attacks, it is impossible to resist void attacks like this that turn into sword shadows. Moreover, because the sword shadow soul locking attack is locked, Lin Xiao cannot dodge it no matter what. This move. Call. The sword shadow passed through Lin Xiao's body, and a series of terrifying damage values appeared above Lin Xiao's head. HP 3322. You know, Lin Xiao's total health volume at this time was only just over 8,000. Lin Xiao couldn't withstand such a terrifying attack in 3 moves. However, Lin Xiao's expression was still full of fighting spirit and was not affected at all by this damage value. Thank you, GG, booger mixed with rice with an egg, Han Yi, Yekyun Yi, Qing Feng Kyun Yu, 4544950949 for the support gift, thank you very much. Thank you. It lasts forever. The Inspiration Capsule Gift Package. Tears thank you. Boss Super 666. Chapter 73. After Duke Zoom succeeded with one move, Lin Xiao decisively dodged. Flash. Lin Xiao didn't hesitate at all and immediately dodged to the other end of the wind wall. Sure enough, as soon as Duke Palm landed, he scattered another string of homing swords. There was a clanging sound, and all the homing swords were confiscated by the wind wall. The reason why it is difficult for newcomers to defeat high-level bosses is that their level is always only at the stage of showing off tricks. They cannot keep up with the pace of high-level boss by showing off tricks. Instead, they must be like Lin Xiao, who can predict the enemy. Yu Xian, when the boss makes his first move, predicts his combo and uses his response skills in advance to avert danger. And this is difficult to break through. Hard work determines the lower limit, and talent determines the upper limit. Without a game talent like Lin Xiao, it would be difficult to show off his superb operations. Lin Xiao and Duke Zombie exchanged positions, but they were still blocked by the wind wall. The wind wall was only effective for the last second. Lin Xiao quickly counterattacked after landing. The holy light is coming. In the blinding white light, Duke Palm's blood volume was reduced by another 8,500. Yi Shuiyan. A field of extremely cold ice instantly condensed, and frost climbed onto Duke Palm's armor. HP 8900. With a double click in 1 second, the wind wall disappeared. Duke Palm was furious. The regicide blade swung, and countless sword lights suddenly exploded like a peacock's tail. 10,000 swords unite. Lin Xiao was hit by the exploding sword light, and his blood volume dropped by 3,800. Lin Xiao then cast the blood pool pill talisman, and his blood volume suddenly rose to 6,500. The passivity of Wangjian Guiyi made Duke Palm enter a state of invisibility. Although Lin Xiao had the Void Eye could only see through fog, walls, grass, and other obstacles, but could not see through invisible enemies. So, Lin Xiao immediately started to move quickly and retreated faster. In order to ensure that the pulling distance was far enough, Lin Xiao did not move at all during the retreat. It was completely in a straight line. When Lin Xiao retreated to the bridgehead, he suddenly stopped. 100 steps flying sword. Lin Xiao turned into a lightsaber and suddenly charged in the opposite direction. Although he couldn't see Duke Palm, he knew that the invisible Duke Palm must be chasing him with all his strength. He was retreating in a straight line, so Duke Palm must also be chasing him in a straight line. This is a psychological game, it depends on whether you can match your opponent's psychology. Being invisible does not mean being invincible. As long as you are penetrated by a lightsaber, it will definitely cause damage. Boom! While the lightsaber was flying, a string of fireworks bloomed out of thin air. This was a special effect when it hit the enemy. The lightsaber transformed by Lin Xiao really penetrated the invisible Duke Palm. Duke Zoom reappeared, with the state of Wang Jian united on his body. The sword light suspended in the air like a peacock suddenly gathered towards the bridge where he stood. However, Lin Xiao had turned into a lightsaber and flew away. Jian Yu is destined to be empty. Duke Palm, who was pierced by the lightsaber, only had 147,000 health left at this time, and was still losing blood. Blast of wind and shadow slash. Lin Xiao's counterattack was a blast of wind, which swept away and took away 7,400 of Duke Palm's health. However, Duke Palm still had nearly 140,000 health, with less than half of his health, and the damage increased more and more. The success won't be too impressive. For Lin Xiao, the situation is still not optimistic. But Lin Xiao's expression was calm and he knew exactly what he should do next. He didn't go to catch Fiazan because he knew that he would never be able to catch it. Sure enough, Duke Zoom cast soul-locking sword shadow again, and the black sword shadow cut off Lin Xiao's health bar, cutting off 3,300 of Lin Xiao's health. At this time, Lin Xiao's flash and the 100-step flying sword had not yet cooled down. Duke Palm obviously knew this, with a smug smile on his lips. The Sword of Homecoming. The fan-shaped sword pierced Lin Xiao's body, but Lin Xiao did not lose any blood. Duke Zoom was shocked, and then he realized that Lin Xiao in front of him was just a phantom in the void. There was a movement behind him, and Duke Zoom quickly turned around, only to see Lin Xiao already more than 10 meters behind him, and a fire dragon roared out from his Katarina sword. It turns out that Lin Xiao used a newly learned skill, sword shadow leaving shape. Duke Palm had no time to move, and the fire dragon roared past. What he didn't expect was that the phantom of the void left by Lin Xiao behind him would actually cooperate with Lin Xiao's attack. The void phantom also shot out a fire dragon, passing behind Duke Palm. HP 8900. HP 8900. Coupled with the subsequent bleeding, Lin Xiao's blow could inflict nearly 40,000 damage. As the blood volume decreased, Lin Xiao's bonus of getting stronger and stronger finally became considerable. This is the reason why Lin Xiao would rather be maimed at the beginning, but still hold on to the shadow of the sword, because the Void Phantom only has 3 seconds, and he must reduce the damage in the only 3 seconds. Otherwise, he would never be able to win this battle. Cross Evil Moon Slash. Slash the moon with your sword. HP 11,000 across all directions. HP-15,000. Because of the Void Phantom and the double click, Lin Xiao directly dealt 52,000 super explosive damage. At this time, Lin Xiao also relied on explosive damage to absorb blood and regained part of his health. Lin Xiao's explosive damage instantly turned the anxious battle situation around. Duke Palm, who had a huge amount of health before, suddenly lost all his health. He was so frightened that he directly entered the final violent mode. Now he has no advantage in blood volume, and both sides can win or lose in just a split second. The sword shadow locks the soul. 10,000 swords unite. The final blow, Duke Palm in violent mode forced a double-click burst. But no matter how good the combo is, there are gaps between them. Although in the eyes of all players, those gaps can be ignored, Lin Xiao does not think so. The sword shadow remains for 3 seconds, and the body can transform with the phantom. When the sword shadow of Duke Palm ended, Lin Xiao seized the gap of maybe only 0.1 seconds and successfully completed the transformation with the Void Phantom. The virtual reality conversion. The sword light of the unified swords all hit Lin Xiao's transformed phantom. Duke Palm was instantly desperate. And Lin Xiao, after the transformation, once again swept out a blast of wind. To be precise, 2. HP-14,000. HP-14,000. Flying Chop. Lin Xiao's body and the Phantom of the Void jumped up at the same time, and slashed out the deadly sword light at Duke's ham in the air. The winning or losing of both sides was determined by that 0.1 second, and Lin Xiao used incredible extreme operations to successfully seize that 0.1 second. Therefore, the failure of Duke Palm was already doomed in that 0.1 second. Duke Zoom's blood volume was emptied. He spat out a mouthful of old blood, fell to his knees, and looked at Lin Xiao in horror, his eyes filled with unbelievable horror. Finally, he smiled miserably, "Your strength is at stake. If I were to choose again, I would definitely give these beauties, the palace and the throne to you with both hands, and I would never be your enemy." But Lin Xiao said, "It's useless. From the moment I step in here, no matter what you do, the final outcome will be death." Duke Palm was stunned. "Why?" "Thank you, Qiu, broken throat, 78462782, the kind that scares people to death when climbing mountains, 322788081, Xia Ren Yat, for the big gift package. Long live all the bosses. Special thanks, Xia Ren Yat, the boss, for sending reminders. More matches, give the boss a manual thumbs up." Chapter 74. Lin Xiao's tone was as cold as snow, "Because, my task today is to kill you. When you appear on my task list, you are already a dead person." "Ha ha ha." Duke Zoom said harshly, "What kind of excuse is this? You can only get a few rewards for completing a task. There are so many charming beauties, glory and wealth, and you don't have to do it all your life. After hard work, isn't it worth a shabby mission reward?" Lin Xiao said, "Then I can only say that Xia Chong is beyond words. In your eyes, the throne and wealth of Nang City is your lifelong pursuit, but in my eyes, it is not worth scorn at all." Duke Palm said, "Oh? Really? You don't even pay attention to Nang City? How grand is your ambition? Can you tell me, a dying person?" Lin Xiao stared at the starry sky, raised his fingers to the sky and said in a deep voice, "The kingdom of God. Your Excellency, you are too ambitious and ambitious. You and I are just mortals. You set the kingdom of God as your goal. Do you think it is possible to achieve it?" "No, the kingdom of God is not my goal, but only my starting point." A chill arose in Duke Zoom's heart. The kingdom of God was an elusive dream for all mortals, but Lin Xiao only regarded it as a starting point. A man with such great ambitions, just a Nang City, naturally, it is impossible to get into his eyes. Your lofty ambitions have really opened my eyes. I have never done anything worthy of recognition in my life. Anyway, I am going to die now, so I might as well be a stepping stone on your road to success." With that said, Duke Zoom handed his regicide blade to Lin Xiao. King Slayer's blade, a sharp blade stained with the king's blood, blessed by the king's bloodline. Level 20, Enchanted, Attribute, Hanjiao, Legendary, Physical Attack, 2120 Spell Power, 4200 King's Bloodline, Double Attack plus 30% Dominate the World. The King's Will be superimposed during battle. When the King's Will is stacked to 6 levels, a Thunder Strike can erupt. The damage value of the Thunder Strike is equal to 100% of the player's damage value, and 20% of the blood volume will be restored. It is worthy of being the legendary Red Brilliance equipment. Before it is refined, the double attack has already reached the peak of +5 Caitlyn's sword. At the same time, the blessing of the King's bloodline is 10% higher than Caitlyn's additional blessing. Lin Xiao took the regicide blade and said solemnly, "Thank you." Lin Xiao is a very principled person. One code is the same. I am forced to kill you because of the mission. You must die, but if you give me an extra gift, I am still willing to give it to you as a thank you. Lin Xiao asked again, "Where is the prince?" Duke Palm raised his finger and pointed at the beauties, and then died. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing Duke Zoom and gaining 6,500,000 experience. Advanced Experience Pill X20, King's Glory Armor X1, King's Cry Helmet X1, Burning Gem Card X1. When Lin Xiao cleared the North Road, he had accumulated 65% of the experience points. Now the experience points are rewarded for killing, plus 20 high-level experience pills. Lin Xiao's level has directly reached level 20. So, he immediately equipped himself with the King's Slayer's blade, the King's armor, and the King's helmet. Of course, these equipment were not finished products yet. The final gains would not be known until he returned to Fengxiang Tower and found Xian Yuka for reprocessing and forging. Once he has collected the full set of the king and obtained the attribute blessings of the set, he will be invincible until level 30. Burning Gem Card, a card that can unlock burning gems, 1 to 10 can be unlocked at a time. Burning gems are magical gems that can be inlaid on equipment. Depending on the number of inlays, the attribute blessings obtained are different. The difference here is not the same as in other games. For example, in other games, if one gem is embedded to plus 10 attack power, 2 gems will be plus 20, and 3 gems will be plus 30, and the embedding will not fail. But Eternal Journey is different. 1 is plus 10, 2 is plus 25, and 3 is plus 40. It is a kind of superposition and accumulation, just like the package. It seems to be more cost-effective, but the inlay may fail. Once it fails, it will follow. Refining is the same, it is very likely that people and money will be lost. Lin Xiao curled his lips. If it were in his previous life, he would have unlocked it immediately and then competed for his character. But in this life, he would not be so stupid. He raised his sword and pointed it at the beauties. The beauties suddenly turned pale with fright and fell to their knees one after another. We are all willing to serve the new king. We only ask for mercy from the new king and not to harm our lives. Gone with the wind, they have no choice but to choose their own men. Whoever sits on the throne will lie in his arms and pray for life. Even when evil spirits break through the city, they have to devote themselves to serving those filthy walking dead. White walkers and monsters, when they meet some perverts, they will take turns to vent their beastly desires on them, and finally eat them together. Lin Xiao said in a deep voice, clothes. Many of them had just taken off all the gauze they had in order to please Duke Palm, and now they were all kneeling naked at Lin Xiao's feet. Others don't care about their dignity, not even themselves, but Lin Xiao does. He feels that even the humblest person should not live like this. But they obviously misunderstood Lin Xiao's meaning. The beauties who had taken off their clothes all breathed a sigh of relief and cried with joy, while the beauties who had not taken off their clothes rushed to peel off the last trace of their gauze. Then he threw himself at Lin Xiao with a sweet smile on his face. These pink and pink girls, plump and thin, are all extremely beautiful. Judging from their performance in serving Duke Palm just now, we know that they are definitely masters at pleasing men. There were even 2 beauties whose beautiful hands had directly explored Lin Xiao's privacy. Lin Xiao rolled his eyes speechlessly, swiped his sword, and all the beauties retracted their hands in fright. Lin Xiao shouted, "Put on your clothes. Take me to your prince right away." In the arbitration court dungeon, Wan Li Changjayun and others from the Invincible Guild rushed down and found that their nightmare had just begun. There were many times more boss here than above. These bosses were all patrolling automatically. Soon, they were discovered. In order to protect Wan Li Changjayun, almost all of his dozens of subordinates died. Only Yi Jianruman and Hong Ji were left with him. But the 3 of them have been forced into a corner and have fallen into a desperate situation. System announcement. Player Jian Yu successfully killed Duke Zoom, and won the first kill of Duke Zoom. The reward is 1000 first kill points. Wan Li Changjayun gritted his teeth and said, "If I had known this would be the result, I should have gone to Duke Zoom to fight. It would be better than being wiped out here." But at this moment, all the boss that came around suddenly disappeared out of thin air. Not only the bosses in the dungeon, but all the bosses in Nang City also disappeared together. System announcement. The traitor has been killed, and all the White Walkers and Underworld warriors have been forcibly buried. Players are requested to find the prince immediately to ascend the throne and restore the throne. Wan Li Changjayun came out of desperation and was overjoyed, "Ha ha ha! Jian Yu would never have thought that he would make me a wedding dress. So what if I killed the quasi-gold boss? I am in the dungeon now, who can help me? If you can find the prince before me, ha ha ha! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Look for them separately and see which cell the prince is in. I am going to take off this time." Chapter 75. Wan Li Changjayun's teeth were almost crooked when he smiled with excitement. Due to a combination of circumstances, he narrowly escaped death, but in the end he had the last laugh. Jian Yu, that idiot, worked so hard to defeat the boss, but in the end he still got an advantage from me. I will send him a 1-cent red envelope later to humiliate him. However, immediately, he couldn't laugh anymore. Yu Jianruman and Sister Hong searched all the cells in the dungeon, not to mention the Prince of Nang City, not even a cockroach was seen. The 3 of them were like wooden sculptures, frozen in place. System announcement. Player Jian Yu has successfully rescued the prince and is now preparing to go to the temple to hold the restoration ceremony. Please go to the temple to participate in the ceremony. All players who come to participate in the ceremony will receive a commemorative award. One person crushed all the boss in the North Road, accumulated more than 20,000 points, broke into the palace alone, single-handedly killed the quasi-golden boss, rescued the prince, successfully restored the country, and won the double championship reward. Damn it, this record is not something that novels dare to do. Right. Speaking of which, what about the people from the Invincible Guild? At first, everyone was like eating Mandarin duck hot pot, dragging them as if they were worth 2,580,000 yuan. Where are they now? I really thought that some master came out and wanted a new king to be on the list today. After working on it for a long time, it turned out to be Ma Baoqiu from the online game world. When Yu Jianruman and Sister Hong saw this news, their faces turned pale with fright. Zhao Hongli had made it very clear before. If they lost, one of them would be sent to Thailand and the other to the Philippines. Lubin. Zhao Hongli's face twitched because of anger, and his eyes looked like he was about to eat someone. Qin Hao, when I told you to go to the palace to fight with Duke Zoom just now, what kind of BD made me rush into the dungeon? With a sword in his dream, he gritted his teeth. Mr. Zhao, it's useless to talk about this now. We acted privately this time and embarrassed ourselves in public. Prince Andrei won't let us go when we go back. Zhao Hongli's expression changed greatly. As a hermit player, there are many rules, and the most important thing is not to embarrass the master. Otherwise, the lightest punishment is to be sealed for 15 days and kicked out. The so-called sealing for 15 days means that all data will be stopped within 15 days. No matter whether you are killing monsters or fighting boss, you will not gain any income or experience. Even taking experience pills will be useless. Even if you are a first-class master, after being sealed for a full 15 days, by the time the seal was released, he would have long been reduced to the 18th line. This is a loss that Zhao Hongli absolutely cannot bear. Yi Jian Ru Meng quickly took the opportunity to say, so, we still try to find a way to grab a lucky draw. Saving some face is the top priority. As long as the face is restored, then maybe we can do business when we go back. What do you think? Zhao Hongli gritted his teeth and said, snatch the lottery? How? Yi Jian entered the dream and said, now the prince has not officially completed the enthronement ceremony, so the event has not officially ended. We can still enjoy the special effects of the event, and our Andre Medal blessing still has 10 minutes to expire. Why don't we gather people? Go directly to the palace and slaughter Jian Yu in public, breaking his myth of immortality and invincibility. In this way, Prince Andre will definitely be overjoyed, and maybe not only will he not punish us, but he will also reward us generously. Sister Hong also said, yes, at worst, we unlock the ultimate secret of the Andre medal and fight with him. We will definitely win. It turns out that the medal of Andre not only has special blessings, but also has a hidden ultimate secret. At this point, Zhao Hongli had no other choice but to agree, but he warned Qin Hao ferociously, you made a bet with Jian Yu to let him clear the north road, and tricked me into rushing into the dungeon. You have already tricked me twice. If you fail this time to grab the tail lottery, do you know what I will do to you? Yi Jian Ru Meng swallowed. Zhao Hongli said with a hideous smile, I will first send you to Thailand for surgery, then I will make you cry myself, and finally send you to the Philippines with her to pick up the guests. Zhao Hongli has put all his efforts into this game. If he is really sealed for half a month, he will basically have no hope of turning around. Now, he has lost his mind in anger. Goosebumps fell all over Yi Jianmeng's body. I understand. I understand. In the temple of Nang City, a group of beauties cleared the way, followed closely by Lin Xiao and Prince Nolan of Nang City, slowly heading towards the throne of the temple. The inside and outside of the temple were crowded with players who came to watch the ceremony. Nolan, the Prince of Nang City, has been imprisoned in the secret passage under the bed of Duke Zoom. Originally, he had given up any hope of escaping, but he did not expect that Lin Xiao, like a god from heaven, came down to earth and not only rescued him from the prison, and let him return to the throne. At this moment, in his heart, he respected and feared Lin Xiao, just like Emperor Xian of Han Dynasty saw Cao. Just as Lin Xiao and Prince Nolan were about to step onto the steps leading to the throne, suddenly, a loud roar came. Wait! Yi Jianmeng rushed to the scene. Lin Xiao turned around and sneered at Yi Jianmeng, you are really embarrassed to come, but unfortunately I am embarrassed. Anyone can receive the commemorative award for the ceremony later, but you won't get it. Prince Nolan said quickly, yes, what Master Jian Yu means is what I mean. Even the dignified king was taught to be so obedient by Lin Xiao, and everyone admired him more and more. Yi Jian Ru Meng sneered, no way, Jian Yu, do you really think I'm a country bumpkin? I would like your measly little commemorative award? Stop being funny, I'm coming to you now just because I'm not convinced. Lin Xiao sarcastically said, not convinced? It's easy to say, if you think you have the strength to refuse to accept me, then you can come over and give it a try now. Yi Jian entered the dream and said, I admit that I can't beat you, but I just don't accept it, can't I? Lin Xiao sneered, I understand, you are here to buy time. Jian Rumen's thoughts were seen through, and his face instantly turned red. Except for Zhao Hongli, Sister Hong, and him, everyone else in the guild had died just now. It would take time to return to the city and come back, so he deliberately came to cause trouble and delay the time. In order to prevent the event from ending early so that they can continue to enjoy the benefits of the event. Lin Xiao didn't mind, and said directly, let's be honest, you guys from the Invincible Guild, how long do you want me to wait? No need to wait any longer. Sister Hong strode into the field, all the brothers of our Invincible Guild are outside the hall now. If you can, please ask the prince not to ascend the throne. Let's fight together in an upright manner. The people eating melons were whispering. Is there any mistake? With so many people surrounding and beating up the great sword feather, how dare you say it's fair and aboveboard? But having said that, their Andre medal is indeed quite perverted. It is said that there is a hidden ultimate secret. It is even more perverted. If they really fight, the result will be really hard to say. If I were the great god of sword feather, I would definitely let the prince ascend the throne first, and then wait until the activity buffs are gone before fighting them, otherwise it would be a huge loss. Although the suggestions from the people who eat melons are good, if Lin Xiao listens to them, then he will not be Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao said loudly, okay. If you don't accept it, then I will write I accept you in capital letters on your faces today. The author has something to say, thanks to Aox Yuling Shuang, Gaideo, for the like gift pack. Thanks to Anyet, 44724497, for sending out the reminder gift pack. Thanks to Yanjai, Pdink and Anyet, for sending out the inspiration capsule gift pack. Thank you. The gift packs from all the big guys are bombing. The update in the early morning is just to thank you all, the big guys are cheating.
If you're enjoying the story so far and want to hear the next parts, don't forget to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And if you'd like me to continue the series, drop a comment below letting me know. Your feedback and support keep these audiobooks going strong. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.